Hello everybody and welcome to the world famous Kia Oval for this third game of Surrey's T20 campaign in the Vitality Blast. The sun is shining and Surrey are 2 from 2.
This is Surrey County Cricket Club, born in a tavern in 1845. The symbol of Kennington, we've seen London grow around us. Cricket's original champions, as Charles Alcock brought his vision to life and we cemented a reputation as a place of firsts. International football, FA Cup finals, international rugby, test matches, as well as where English pride came to die, before a great rivalry was born from its ashes. We share our feathers with royalty and pass on the honour of the brown cap through generations. We've seen England's best spend their careers with us.
Well, that's Jack Hobbs. Head and shoulders, yes, over all other living batsmen.
And the game's best finish under our gasometer. We've won 7 in a row thanks to Surridge, May, Barrington, Locke, Laker and the Bedser twins. In fact, we're well known for our famous siblings. But there's always been one family who've stood out. We saw the West Indies grip a nation on our doorstep, and a pioneer set records galore in the women's game. The end of the century brought a fresh take on Ik Dien, as Holyoake and his England teammates transformed us on the pitch. The changing of the oval skyline brought the greatest of finales.
There it is. England have regained the Ashes.
And an era of final test triumphs.
Alistair Cook has done it. A century in his last. Well played.
On our way to our own red ball century. We're one half of the game's oldest rivalry and its only London derby.
Can you clear the pavilion?
Local players are always the lifeblood of our side. But the world's best are attracted to us too. We've come through tragedies. Now we're home to world champions and cricketers of the year. 175 years have passed. There's much more to come. This is Surrey County Cricket Club. heart of London, pride of the county, the grandest stage in world cricket.
Yeah, hello everybody. Welcome along to the Kia Oval from all over the world. What a difference a couple of days makes. It was a drizzly one on Tuesday, wasn't it? And now the sun is shining. Everyone's preparing for the Jubilee weekend. We're expecting a packed house here at the Kia Oval. And Surrey, they're going to really enjoy some cricket tonight, I think, because Surrey have had an absolutely brilliant start to the Vitality Blast, beating Glamorgan by 4 wickets off the penultimate ball. They then followed that up with that amazing 37-1 run win, say that quickly, over Gloucestershire on Tuesday night, after the game was shortened due to the rain that I mentioned. So it's going well for Surrey here at the Kia Oval in the Vitality Blast. And in case you haven't joined us already, where have you been? Where have you been, for starters? But in case you haven't, here's the plan. The toss is coming up in about 10 minutes at 6 o'clock. We'll have that live for you. We've got plenty of build-up. We're talking to a number of the players. We've got your commentary team as well, who are going to come and preview the match with me. But first up, we spoke earlier this afternoon to Will Jacks. Will, thanks for having a chat to us. How are you feeling after that great knock on Tuesday?
Yeah, we're feeling good. I'm feeling good. Good to get the win. Get some runs, obviously, myself. Most importantly, yeah, we got the win. We're 2 from 2, and we're looking forward to tonight.
How different does it feel? You know, the sun is shining today. We're out there. It was a bit more stop-start, obviously, on Tuesday. How much difference does that make to you in preparation?
Yeah, Tuesday was a tough one. We weren't sure when we were going to get going, how many overs it was going to be. Tonight, the sun's shining. Hopefully get a big crowd in, and we're all buzzing ready for it.
What's it like batting with Jason then? We heard him in the background there doing his best to support you, to show his support.
Yeah, he's excitable at the best of times, but it's a mix. He's pretty serious, and then when things are going well, we're pretty relaxed. That's when we kind of play our best together. We bat together a lot now, so we know what's best for each other, and we just have fun, and we're hitting sixes, we're enjoying it, and yeah, we love it.
Obviously, he's a hugely experienced player, so it actually must, to some degree, be quite inspiring to play with someone who's won a lot, who's achieved a lot in the game.
Yeah, of course. When I was a teenager, he was here playing for Surrey in England, so it's someone I look up to. And to get to bat with him is a great experience. I've learned loads from him, and to go and see him do it for England is special to them when he comes back, and I get to do it with him here, and I enjoy it every time.
How do you feel like he's a model for how your career might map out, or how do you see yourself going in the next coming years?
Well, it's tough to predict what's going to happen. Obviously, I'd love to play as much international cricket as he has. He's won a World Cup, he's done great things, so to have a career like his would be amazing, but I've just got to do my thing day by day, and who knows.
And we love seeing you bat, of course. Do you think you're going to get much of a bowl in this season's T20 specifically?
Well, it's hard to say. Obviously, I haven't bowled yet. The team's looking good. We've got 9 or 10 bowling options, so for me to get a bowl, it'd have to be a specific situation. Who knows? I really don't know. You'd have to ask the captain. All
right, you're not pitching yourself?
I'll just let him do what he wants to do.
That's exactly the answer you've got to give, isn't it? Absolutely right. I mean, obviously, you've been here for a while now, comparatively. Does it feel like home when you head out into the Kia Oval?
Absolutely, yeah. It has done for a while now. I think this is my 5th year playing in the Blast here, and every game's a special night. Thursday night is obviously a big night in London. Big bank holiday weekend, so we're hoping for a big crowd, and the sun's come out perfectly for it, so it should be a good one.
What do you think makes this, the Vitality Blast, special as a tournament format?
I think it's the support you get for each home team. When you go to every ground in the South Group and obviously the North as well, everyone is really supporting their local boys and their local team, and that's something that the team gets behind us here, and when we go away we really feel that presence going for the opposition there, and that's kind of what everyone represents. Nicely
done, Will. Good luck tonight. That was Will Jacks there, fresh from his half-century on Tuesday night ahead of tonight's game against Hampshire, the 3rd home game for Surrey in this Vitality Blast series. Delighted to say I've got your commentary team with me now, Neil Manthorpe and Phil Walker, who are going to be filling in all the gaps in this one. How are you looking forward to commentating? It's your first time here with us this season, isn't it?
Yeah, this is my first one with Surrey TV. It's a glamour tie, this one, I'd say. You know, Surrey and Hampshire are 2 of the real pedigree sides in the country. Surrey are obviously on a run, a dream run, not just in T20 cricket, but as well, it's bled from their 4-day stuff as well. They're top of the league in the Championship. There's good vibes around Surrey at the moment. Hampshire have yet to get going, in truth, in T20 cricket, and yet when you run through that side, Manners, from James Vince and Ben McDermott, who's an absolute gun T20 player. There's a lot of quality that they've brought over here from Hampshire, but they are, at the moment are 3-0 and bringing up the rear in the South Group.
That just shows that, you know, you talk about a winning role and there's a losing role as well. It's really strange that Hampshire are doing so poorly this season, but, you know, head-to-head, these two teams, Surrey have completely dominated. I mean, they've won 3 out of the last 5 meetings, with the other 2 abandoned, one by 9 wickets and 20 runs. And recent form, Surrey's last 4 games they've won. It's 5 games since their last loss, and Hampshire have lost their last 4. So, but Surrey should be dominating. I mean, they are the Galacticos of English cricket, aren't they? They're the Manchester City.
They are, and when you looked at the lineup, and it's an unchanged side as well, by the way, this evening.
Very
they're
nice.
going with the same 11 as they did the other night, and when you see the likes of Jamie Smith, probably one of the best young players, if not the best 21-year-old in the country, and he's at number 9, number 9 in this order. They've got such versatility, such flexibility in this side, not just with the bat as well. There's options, of course, with the ball. Sam Curran has been managed a little bit with the ball coming back into the side. He's been playing purely as a batsman in 4-day cricket. Well, he showed his chops with the ball the other night. 4 for 14, I think it was. He's a star in T20 cricket, not just in England, not just in South London, but globally. So he's playing beautifully. And look, they are a tough team to beat in all formats of the game at the minute. And as I said earlier, one bleeds into the other. There's a real good spirit around the place at the minute. And this is an interesting game because Hampshire, they're playing for their lives here, right? If they go down tonight, Hampshire, then that's what, 4 and zip. It's hard to really see that you come back and make that top 4 if you are starting so poorly. So there's real jeopardy on this one tonight.
Yeah, when we spoke to Jason Roy earlier, he slightly got ahead of himself and said they were 3 from 3. I think it was an accident. It wasn't a statement but I think it is a statement of intent. And you talk about those Galacticos as well. I mean, they've used their overseas picks very wisely from the starts of things. Sunil Narayan looking great, Curran Pollard, exciting to see him play at the Oval.
Well, exactly. I mean, who would Sunil Narayan and Kieran Pollard, you know, who's that? Like Brad Pitt and, I mean, it's just...
Keanu Reeves, let's go with it.
Yeah, we'll go with that, yeah. Absolutely, brilliant. I mean, and that is Surrey cricket, isn't it? I mean, that's Surrey County Cricket Club. They want the big names, and they generally get them, don't they?
Yeah, well, Kieran Pollard is not just a great cricketer now, he's a great cricketer across the board, and his record is extraordinary, the second highest 6-hitter in the history of the game, just behind Chris Gale, only about 150 odd behind Chris Gale.
What I'm really hoping for is another over of 6s, to be honest, guys.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask him about it, if he's going to deliver that for the T20 crowd here.
That would be sweet, wouldn't it? And he's got his Trinidadian soulmate in there, in Sunil Narayan, who's obviously a dream cricketer as well. He bowls a little bit of this and a little bit of that. You never quite know what's going to come out of his hand. And he kind of reframed his career as a T20 hitter as well. You know, he began as a mystery spinner, and then he became an absolute gun T20 player as well with the bat. So for the club to be able to bring in those 2 players speaks volumes for not just the pedigree of the club, but also the cachet of the club, you know. And when the gaffer, Alex Stewart, shouldn't call him the gaffer on Surrey TV because he doesn't like being called the gaffer, but when Alex Stewart makes that call, then you tend to answer it. And they have now not just quality in depth, but they've got real world-class players now in this setup, and they will take some stopping.
So if that's oh, you're going to say something. Tell me what you're going to say now.
I just wanted to say that one thing will make me really pleased, apart from an exciting game of cricket, I really want to see a Kia catch, and I want it to go to a poor student who really needs the money. £1,000 for a Kia catch, that will really make my evening.
It is
amazing. If you're listening, Jay Roy, the cheap seats are just out there, so just over deep mid-wicket.
Oh my goodness! The thing about the Kia catch is, so you get £1,000 if you make a catch at the Kia Oval. But the thing is, it's hard enough to catch from the crowd, and you're sitting there with your drink and your crisps, and you're just enjoying a bit of cricket. But then when you know that there's £1,000 on the line, it's amazing that anyone ever would manage to achieve it. Have you got any tips for this?
Yeah, I do actually. Just make sure you've only had 1 beer. I think 1 will really help. any more than that.
Yeah.
But there have been a couple of great ones around the world. They do it in the Caribbean Premier League as well, don't they? And they did it in the Georgie Pie Super Smash in New Zealand. There was one famous one with a guy who had his one beer for the evening in his left hand, didn't spill a drop, just took it in his right hand. It was absolutely brilliant. And he was a poor student who needed the money.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, that is the sort of stuff we're hoping to see. It hasn't happened yet in this Vitality Blast series, so you won't see it in the highlights. Guys, we're really looking forward to hearing you in the commentary box tonight. We're now going to be able to show you some of the highlights from the Gloucestershire game on Tuesday night. Enjoy these.
And here are the first innings highlights, and I'll tell you what, they were good for Surrey early doors, weren't they, Darryl?
Yeah,
sixes galore in the power play.
Yeah, some magnificent shots up top by Will Jacks and Jason Roy. Clearing ropes with ease at times, it felt.
So Jason Roy hasn't played much cricket in 2022, but got off to a flyer. And Will Jacks, who missed out on Friday night, we know how well he can go. Look at that, stand and deliver.
That's trademark Jason Roy, isn't it? Just a little shimmy down the wicket and dispatched over. Mark Jason Roy, isn't it? Just a little shimmy down the wicket and dispatched over long on with ease. That beautiful flow of the bat.
But in walks Tom Smith. Third ball through the gate. Roy hit him for 6 the previous delivery, then lost his leg stump. And that is where everything changed. Next ball, Tom Curran dances and takes it for 6 over long on. Lovely stuff, but with 1 ball left in the power play of just 4.5 overs, given the truncated nature of tonight's fixture, Curran tried to do it again, and it didn't quite work. Popped down the throat of the man at long on, Hammond, and that gave them 2 in the space of 3 deliveries, and they were away at that point, Gloucester. Again, it was Smith, his second over, the 7th of the innings, to Evans, caught it cover for 1.
It's wily bowling from Smith, not a lot of spin there for him, just sort of using the angle and pushing it into the back, trying to cramp him from room there.
And here's Benny Howe, bang, in his first over, nice celebration. Jamie Overton and came and went for 1.
And how many times have seen this from Benny Howe? Subtle variations.
Stood on the Ryan, became the next wicket to fall on the edge of the circle. Excellent catch from Hammond, second time he was in the game. And the squeeze was on by this point. For a time, Will Jacks got their mojo back to home side. Clearing the ropes here. One of 3 sixes in the innings for the precocious young opener. But then they seem sharp. Bang.
Brilliant execution from Shah there.
That was Will Jacks gone for 51. Just not the distance. Towards the end, we saw 2 wickets in that over from Van Meekeren. The second here, the captain Jordan, 2 balls after Pollard on debut for Surrey, was caught at long on. He was caught at deep mid wicket. Phillips in the game after Cabane.
Another wicket into the pitch there, perhaps pace off, a little bit of a cutter into the wicket. I think that's probably the way to go for the Surrey bowlers when they get their opportunity.
And then Payne finished the job in the space of a couple of balls himself. Jamie Smith skying this high. Nice, safe chance taken there by Bracey. And the last man, the number 11, Reece Topley, only faced 2 balls and slapped this down the throat of the man at long on. Phillips, the New Zealander, 1 of 2 catches for him and 3 wickets.
Yes, second innings highlights here, and well, there was a lot of lowlights if you're a Gloucestershire fan. They never ever got their chase up and running, Gloucestershire. Losing their first wicket there, James Bracey, influential player, couldn't go on from the 70 he scored in the last match. And Reece Topley, brilliant to see him back, and look at the celebrations as well. Big smile on his face. And the 2 left armers, Sam Curran and Reece Topley, just causing all ends of problems for Gloucestershire. The 2-pace pitch, and Surrey maximised that, bowling into it and causing problems throughout. Short wide from Dan Worrell, picked out Will Jacks, did the batter though. Rare loose ball really. Curran Pollard playing his first match in Surrey colours, his first T20 match in England for 11 years. Didn't really do it with the bat, but did it with the ball. Jason Roy with a comfortable catch at long on. There's quite a few dismissals to go down in that area of the game. There's Adam Collins on commentary at the time. Said Sunil Narayan has taken many wickets in that fashion. The ball skidding on and taking leg stump, and then the captain brought himself on. Not sure that was too much of the bowler, or more of the pitch, but Surrey were getting lots of purchase from banging the ball in. Gloucestershire forced to go for the big shots, but they could only pick out the fielders. I don't think Surrey put down a catch today. On a day where 20 wickets fell, Sam Curran weighed in with 4 of them of his own. Higgins, 8th man out, and with him any chance whatsoever Gloucestershire had of chasing down the score that Surrey posted, or even coming close. Another huge skied effort, could only pick out a fielder stationed in the deep. Jason Roy with another success, and it was hugs all round for Surrey, who are 100% from their first 2 games, and worryingly for the opposition, look like they can get better and better from what we've seen over the last 2 games. A big win over Glamorgan has been followed up with another whopping win over Gloucestershire. They're 2 for 2.
So a second straight win for Surrey. A really enjoyable that one was on Tuesday after we got our 16 overs of cricket, despite thunder and lightning raining down on London. Happy to say that that is no longer the case today. The sun is shining, the crowds are filling up, and we can now get down to the toss with Ashley Wilmot.
So we're in the middle, ready for the all-important toss. I'm not alone, we are joined by lots of people here. The umpires today, Ben Debenham, Billy Taylor, and our match referee, Jason Swift. We've got the Hampshire captain, Liam Dawson, and Surrey captain, Chris Jordan, and of course, our mascot for today, Marley Peer, everyone. Okay, let's get on with the toss. Let's go, Chris.
Heads, buddy.
Say heads.
Hampshire
won.
Hampshire win, yeah.
Okay, Hampshire have won the toss. Liam, over here, come on over here. What are you deciding to do?
Yeah, we're going to have a bowl.
You're going to have a bowl. Why have you gone for that?
Oh, I think it looks a fresh pitch, so get a good look at it and hopefully chase the score down.
I mean, you've had a tricky start to your season. What are you hoping to achieve today?
Obviously win. We've had a tough start, no doubt, but we're a very good team, so we'll come here tonight full of confidence and try and get the 2 points.
And any players we should be particularly looking out for today?
Tom Press comes in for his debut this season. James Vince misses out due to a sickness bug, so hopefully has a good night.
I mean, you get the captain's armband, so have a good one.
Hope so.
Thanks, Liam. Just come and find Chris. Chris, you're going to bat. How do you feel about that?
It is what it is. We probably would have had a ball as well, but we'll try and post a good score and then defend it.
You had an explosive start on Tuesday night. Same again today?
Yeah, hopefully you get a similar start.
Same again today?
Yeah, hopefully you get a similar start from the boys. Obviously we had a little bit of wobble in the middle, but just want to keep encouraging you guys to keep taking the positive option and see where we get to.
I mean, it's the start of a big weekend for a lot of people here. Lots of support for Surrey. Have you got a message for the fans?
Yeah, keep supporting. I want to hear you scream nice and loud tonight. Hopefully we can get the win for you.
Oh, lovely. Go well tonight. Great to have it. Hampshire are going to bowl, Surrey are going to bat, and we want you in full voice today.
Lovely stuff from Ashley there. She's going to be bringing you the flavour of what's going on in the Kia Oval throughout tonight's game between Surrey and Hampshire. So Hampshire then win the toss. They've put Surrey into bat tonight, and they've put Surrey into bat tonight in tonight's T20. Now, throughout the series of Surrey's campaign in the Vitality Blast, what we're doing here is teaming up with charities in the local area to try and raise lots and lots of money for some great causes. Tonight's charity is the Evelina Children's Hospital, and over the course of the last few years, the Kia Oval has worked with Evelina to raise over £300,000 for charity. It's been an amazing campaign between these two amazing organisations, and we're going to hear a bit more about that now.
I've been coming to Evelina since I was about 3 or 4.
I've been coming to Evelina since I was 2.5.
Been here ever since I was 2.
I've been coming to Evelina for 3 years now. Mummy, how long have I been coming to Evelina Hospital? No in the world. 150.
I knew it had had been around a long time, but I didn't realise it had been around that long.
They don't wear the hats or the aprons, they put like plastic ones on now.
I need these drugs and like they help me grow.
I have Charcot-Marie tooth disease. It's a type of muscular dystrophy.
Because she has sickle cell.
I have cerebral palsy.
That one leg is bigger than the other.
Chronic renal failure, so my kidneys don't really work.
Coming to Evelina is like another family because I've been coming for quite a long time. You kind of get to know people.
The staff here are really nice, very caring.
And they're patient, and they're gentle, and they listen.
I like Mr. Kokonakis because he's funny.
Sarah is my favourite because she does fun stuff with me.
The nurses are kind and caring and funny and cheer you up when you're feeling down.
It's a caring and lovely place. Just got a little bit bigger.
Happy birthday, Evelina London!
Really lovely to see the work that has been done in collaboration with the Evelina London Children's Hospital, which is, yes, just down the road from SC11 where the Kia Oval is situated. Okay, guys, we're now going to do something slightly different. One thing that always gets asked about when people come down to the Kia Oval is the pyros. Whenever there's a wicket, whenever anything happens that's a big moment in the play, you will see fumes of fire coming up from the ground and adding to the atmosphere, no doubt. They're exciting, they're perfectly safe, we're told. So I went to hear a little bit more about them earlier today. So one of the things you can't fail to notice when you come to a T20 at the Kia Oval is that we enjoy a bit of fire at key points in the game. And the man who's in charge of that is Mark Kelly, who's with me now from AC Lasers. Now, Mark, we're here doing this and having a chat to you before the game, but you tell me that it would be perfectly safe for us to stand nearby even during the game, even when things were being set off.
Absolutely, yeah. We use what we call a Galaxis G-Flame, which is one of the safest units on the market, so there's no fear of anyone accidentally pressing a button or one of these things going off on their own. Everything is controlled by this key, and until that key's in the unit over there, you cannot fire these machines.
Okay, so safety is covered. Now the next question is, have you always loved setting things on fire?
So from an early age, always setting things on fire, no, seriously. Sort of 5-6 years ago I started doing this. You know, we go all over the country, all over Europe, festivals, concerts, weddings, you name it, we do it. Cricket matches, football matches, rugby matches. So we do this sort of thing week in, week out. So we're very familiar with how the crowd reacts. You know, all of our staff as well are all familiar with the sport that we're doing the events at, so we know exactly when to hit, that sort of thing. No one needs to tell us when to fire, we know when to fire. So.
Weddings, I'm trying to imagine a wedding with a pyro at it. What is that like once you may kiss the bride?
You'll be surprised the amount of weddings we do. Yeah, first dance, we can set the levels of height of flame on these machines. So providing we're in a nice big building, yeah, we can do some flame effects at weddings also. Yeah.
All right, cool. Okay, so we're going to just walk down so everyone can have a little bit more of a look at what this looks like without any flame coming out of it. And the point being that when the fire goes up, as you said, it's cold, or it's even the sparks aren't going to fly near the crowd?
No. We use LPG inside these. So obviously when we've pressed the button, the fire ignites, we get a ball of flame, and then that's it, it cuts off. You can adjust on the settings the duration of the flame burst, but for cricket and things like that, we just do a short blast, and then we can do nice chases and things like that. So.
All right, well, apparently I'm going to get to have a go at setting them off, so it must be fairly simple. Let's give that a go now. To give you a sense of how safe this all is, Mark has very kindly allowed me to come backstage and have a go at setting off the pyros. That's right, isn't it, Mark? I am going to get a go.
You are indeed, yes.
Okay, so talk us through it. You'll do the first one, which is sparks, right? So that's like, what's the deal with that? Is that more like a 4? You get a spark and then a flame for a 6 or a wicket?
So the flames are obviously LPG. You get a nice flame effect of that one. The sparks are more of what we call a dry fire. There's no heat to them. It could just sort of come up like a spark, but you could actually put your hand on it. It wouldn't burn your hand.
But I'm not going to be doing that.
Safety. it's safe, completely safe to use. So yeah, so what we'll do is we normally do for a wicket, we normally do all the flames and sparks at the same time, and then for a 4 or a 6 we do the flames. So if you want to see the sparks first, we can get that sorted for you.
Yeah, let's do it, shall we?
Okay, so what we need to do with that is just make sure the master's on, they're heated up. So I'm ready to fire in 3, 2, 1.
It's a thrill every time, right? Come on.
Absolutely, yeah. Can't be a bit of pyro.
Too right. Okay, so now that's the sparks, which is it's the lower key of the pyros at the Kia Oval.
It's an instant hit, and then obviously we move on to the flames then. So as I mentioned to you as we were walking past there, nothing can get control without this key. So I've put the serial number in that, the program that I'm going to use. So just to arm it, put the key in there, press that button there. That is now armed the system, so the flames are now ready to fire. So if we were to press that button there, the flames would go. So if you would like to do that, if we're safe to do so, I'll just give a shout, flame test, and then you're ready just to hit that button there.
Okay, Mark, thank you. Are we safe? Is our cameraman going to be safe?
He's going to be absolutely safe there. He's going to be fine there, as long as he doesn't move, yeah. Okay, so we're going to do a flame test. 3, 2, 1.
Twice or once?
Just twice or once, whatever you can do. And again. There you go, simple as that. We'll take the key out to make everything nice and safe again. Although they're still armed, no one can fire the button, so good to go.
And that's how it's done, everybody. I'm not sure whether I want to change jobs, but that was pretty awesome. Thank you so much, Mark.
No worries at all, my pleasure.
Yeah, I can assure you that our cameraman was absolutely, totally fine. I don't know if you could get the impression from Mark, speaking to Mark, but he obviously loves his job very much indeed. He's sort of veered between saying this stuff is really exciting and a little bit dangerous, and saying this is the safest thing you've ever experienced in your life, because of course they've got to be safe to be setting off fire in a place like the Kia, a historic place like the Kia Oval. So don't worry, everyone is absolutely totally fine, and it's just another one of the kind of great things that you'll see when you come down to the Kia Oval. One of the really fun parts about it, and more of those things we'll be getting from Ashley throughout the course of tonight's game. There's a best seat in the house, there's the Kia catch as well that we were talking about with your commentators earlier on this evening. We do now have the teams, so I'm just going to take you through them briefly, starting with your Surrey lineup. Jason Roy, Will Jacks, both of whom, in fact, we're about to speak to Jason Roy shortly after this to hear what he makes of tonight's game, how confident he's feeling. Sam Curran in at 3, Ollie Pope away now with the England side, Laurie Evans, Jamie Overton, Curran Pollards, Chris Jordan, the captain, sounding very confident as they were taking the toss earlier today. Hampshire, of course, won the toss, so they have put Surrey in to bat tonight. Sun on the Rhine, a mystery spinner. Jamie Smith, also name-checked by our commentary team earlier on tonight. Worrell and Topley, Reece Topley, hopefully we'll be seeing some more of his incredible diving catches here at the Kia Oval over the next 3 hours or so. Coming through now to your Hampshire sides. Again, as we were discussing, this is a big game for Hampshire. Much was expected of them, but right now they're sitting right down at the bottom of the Vitality Blast South group table. And of course, if Surrey win tonight, Surrey will go top of the table. So the team tonight: Gubbins, McDermott, Prest, Weatherly, Donald, Dawson, Whiteley, Fuller, Ellis, Woods and Crane. That is your Hampshire lineup to face Surrey here at the Kia Oval tonight in this third home Surrey game of the Vitality Blast. Surrey going great guns, but it's going to be important for them to stamp their authority on tonight's game if they can, as they have their ambition of heading for finals day. One man who always seems to know how to stamp his authority onto a cricket field is Jason Roy, and I spoke to him earlier. Jason, great to see you. How are you feeling ahead of tonight?
Yeah, we're very happy. You know, we're 2 from 2 and hopefully make it 3 from 3 tonight. Especially home games. If we look to capitalise on home games, should hold us in good stead.
So, of course, you've had a bit of a break. What have you done with that, and how has that affected you?
Yeah, I had a nice break. Just enjoyed my time with the family. Actually enjoyed life for a bit, which has been a long time coming. You know, I've had a long... it's been a tough 3 years, I think, on the road with bubbles and COVID and stuff like that. And it was about time that I spent some time at home. Good training block, worked on some technical stuff for my batting and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been good, but I'm buzzing to be back out there now. It feels really cool.
And you have a second kid as right, very young kid.
Yeah, that's right. He's coming up to 5 months old now. So I've been able to spend his first few months of his life with him. And yeah, I spent a lot of time away during the other winters and stuff from my daughter. I got a 3-year-old as well, and I spent a hell of a long time away from her. So it's been really, really pleasing. In the current state of the world and stuff, there's bigger things than cricket, so I'm really enjoying it.
It's really important to get that kind of time, isn't it? So that's great that you've had that. I mean, given everything that we were just talking to Will, given everything that you've achieved in the game, how does it feel to come out and play these kinds of games on a sunny afternoon? Relaxing, right?
No, relaxing, but it's a job, you know. It's my job to go out there and try and win the game, try and contribute to winning a game. So no matter who I'm playing for, whether it's my club side, Reigate Priory, or county or England, you're trying to win a game. So I don't look at it as just a county game, and I'm only here for a few games and I miss a decent chunk, so I need to leave my mark.
So you're saying your mentality going out there today or going out to play in against any of the big nations in the world is the same?
All the same, yeah. I mean, when I first started it wasn't, and I think that's where a bit of inconsistency comes, when you're kind of a bit all over the place and you don't quite know a lot about yourself. But once you learn about yourself and you stay nice and relaxed, then you can play against anyone.
Talking about Will, how does it must be interesting batting alongside, so he's 23 now, but you're a grand old man of the game. Is that how it works?
Yeah, I don't know. I think we work well together. He absolutely slaps the ball, doesn't he? He beats the ball up, which is nice to see. Daz Vaness is growing his biceps every now and then. He's only 23, so he's got some growing to do. But he hits the ball miles, and it's great fun batting with him. And we've had a decent start to the tournament, but we want to go a bit bigger.
Do you feel like you act as a kind of support, given you've got that experience?
Yeah, I guess so. I think when we bat in the nets and stuff like that, I chat with him and speak to him about things. He asks me some good questions, and sometimes I just let him go. He's quite a free spirit when he's batting and as a person, so he does a lot of his learning on his own, which is impressive. So yeah, he's got a huge future.
All right, awesome. Well, good luck tonight. Thanks for chatting to us. Cheers. All right. Great to see the spirit between Will Jacks and Jason Roy. Jason, as you may have missed earlier if you're just joining us now this evening at the Kia Oval, running around behind Will Jacks' interview, just giving him a bit of inspiration, he said. But look, it's clear that it's a really beautiful thing to see an experienced player like Jason Roy teaming up with Will Jacks. And they, after a sort of slow start in the first T20 last week, they really got off to a flyer on Tuesday night, and of course resulted in that great comprehensive win against Gloucestershire, despite the fact that they didn't manage to use up all of their overs on the night, only got into the 15th before getting bowled out by Gloucestershire. Look, as you can see, the sun is shining down on the Kia Oval. No chance, hopefully. Speak too soon, that's a British person there getting worried about the weather. Hopefully the sunshine is not going to stop shining on us here tonight as the players are getting introduced to the Kia Oval ahead of tonight's big game against Hampshire. Perhaps the bigger game really for that Hampshire cricket team, because as discussed, they have not managed to win a single one of their games so far tonight. And for all of our crowds coming out here to the Kia Oval, as you can see on your screens right now, this is not just a place to have a great time and watch some high quality cricket. It's also a place to have a really great time and to really enjoy yourself. So look, if you're in the local area, or even if you're at home, you can tweet us in at Surrey County Cricket Club. You can join us. Get down here. What more are you waiting for? The crowds are filling up and they're going to have an amazing time with us tonight. Now, not long to go until first ball here. We're going to also hear the national anthem. So the first thing we're going to do now is join your cricket team, your cricket team, join your commentary team of Phil Walker and Neil Manthorpe.
Thank you very much indeed, Kate. Phil, you were just about to take it up there, weren't you?
It's all yours, Neil. All yours.
Well, are you surprised that Hampshire decided to put Surrey in? I mean, they're on a losing run. I think, you know, the best way sometimes to break a losing run is to take control of the game early on, straight up, especially with Surrey being in such great form and such a phenomenally explosive and deep batting order. I just thought Hampshire would have... Hello, Chevy. I just thought
Hampshire would have put themselves in and tried to put a big number on the board.
Yeah, they need to live a little, I think. They've lost their first three and lost the first three quite comfortably, and nobody scored any runs for Hampshire. And I think if they were to take first use of this track, it looks a good track from where we're sitting, as you come to expect, of course, at the Oval. I think if they'd gone out there and tried to back their top order to set a target, I think they may have been caught between two stools, you know. So I'm trying to figure out the logic, because you would think on a flat one you'd want first use, but perhaps counterintuitively, because their top order is struggling, perhaps they need to know what they need to target. You know, they know what they need to attack come the second half of this game. The concern, though, and Chevy, you were here the other night seeing Surrey, they back down to number 9. You know, they have Jamie Smith at number 9. The concern is that Surrey could just run away with this in the first 10, let alone the first 20, and overpower Hampshire.
Yeah, Surrey are on a great form at the moment, 2 out of 2, and as you said there, there's batting goes deep, and the bowling options are big as well. So excited to see how they can get a start off. Will Jacks is in good form, and you know, him and Jason Roy could be very explosive at the top, and who knows how they get the power play will be really important to see what Hampshire can do.
Yeah, just running through the 11 manners. Surrey first, of course, taking first use of this track. Jason Roy and Will Jacks, you don't get more explosive than that up top. Will Jacks in particular, as you say, Chevy, he's been playing outrageously so far in T20 cricket. So those two pedigree openers really in this form of the game, and Sam Curran as well at 3. Now, Sam Curran played one of the all-time classics the other day, 6 from 2, and was caught long on. He's in 6th gear at all times, Sam Curran, in T20 cricket, and it's actually been reflected in his 4-day stuff as well. You obviously work here for Ace at the Oval, and my offices are based here as well, so we've seen a lot of Surrey this year, and Sam has played as purely and beautifully as you're gonna get. So it's a very strong top 3. Okay then, folks, it's the big one here. Hampshire are playing for their lives, 3 and zip so far, and Surrey, of course, played 2, 1-2, and very convincingly so. Just running through the sides, Surrey will be batting first, having lost the toss and being asked to go in first. Jason Roy, Will Jacks, Sam Curran, that is a high-class top 3. Laurie Evans, all that experience, of course, in number 4, fresh from the BBL as well, where he was man of the match in the final, so he brings real class to this side. Jamie Overton in there as a bowling all-rounder at 5, but he can really clobber it, Chev. You know, he's a fine option in there at 5. Kyron Pollard. What more can be said about Kyron Pollard? We'll come to him in due course, but what a cricketer he is, and what a coup for Surrey to have picked him up. Chris Jordan, of course, the skipper at 7. Sonny Orion, Kyron Pollard's soulmate, if you like, from Trinidad. He's in there at 8. Bowling all kinds of beautiful mystery and clobbering it as well from number 8. Jamie Smith, not a bad number 9.
Not a bad number 9.
Fresh from a double 100 in the county championship not too long ago. Dan Worrell, Reece Topley are the 2 bowlers, and quickly Hampshire, Ben McDermott, the Aussie overseas, kicking off. Nick Gubbins, left-handed opening bat. Tom Press, Joe Weatherly, Aneurin Donald. Liam Dawson is skippering in at 7. Ross Whiteley, strong left-handed hitter at 7 rather. James Fuller, Nathan Ellis, another good overseas, and Chris Wood, the southpaw seamer, and bringing up the rear, Mason Crane, who it looks like will be featuring relatively early in the piece, because they do tend to fancy slow bowling initially in the opening 6, and bang on call there we have Liam Dawson bowling left arm round.
Swept away for one, it looks like.
Yeah, and so we have a pretty conventional field first up. We've got 5 in the offside, 2 right-handed batters, of course. You've got a pretty tight offside ring there for Dawson, bowling left arm round into the pads, trying to kind of cramp these batsmen as best he can. But he's, of course, only got 2 men out. He's got 1 at deep square on the sweep, and he's already pushed long off back for the first delivery to Will Jacks.
That leg side looks a bit short.
It does indeed. The pitch is slightly to that side, and it will be they'll be fancying it, let's say, these 2 right-handers. Nicely done by Dawson. Flat, as you'd come to expect. He tends to sort of fire it through, doesn't he, Liam Dawson? And
as captain as well, it's good for him to take the reins first over up from the Jane Finn stand, and you know, I'm sure he's got a lot of pressure on his mind as he's going into another big game here.
And he's bowled
Oh, jeez.
Oh my, first up, how about that? Jason Roy, he's tried to eye up that short boundary, Chev, as you've quite rightly identified, and he's just played all around that first up. Well,
missed a straight one.
He's missed a straight one straight off the bat. Surrey in the first over, 2 for 1. Jason Roy is almost caught in 2 minds. He's kind of given himself a little bit of room.
Yeah,
and then his bottom hand has just come through. Yeah, he's played all around that. So Roy goes for 1. What a start here for Liam Dawson's Hampshire. Shorn of James Vince, of course, who would be their normal talisman. So Liam Dawson stepping into the fray, and that's a great start. Great start, 2 for 1. And here comes Sam Curran. Now, as we touched on earlier, Chevy, you saw him the other night.
So walk in and hit a 6.
Quite a lot of him this summer. He's timing it beautifully, isn't he?
Definitely. You know, I don't want to really put that commentator's curse on him, as they say, but he walked in the other night with great confidence, hit a 6, and then, you know, the next ball went for it again and got caught. But big chance for him here to a lot of overs to play with.
Yeah, so it'll be Curran to face up against the left arm orthodox of Liam Dawson, who's now going over the wicket, of course, to the left-hander. And we have 2 men out for Sam Curran, as you'd probably expect, really. A man at deep mid-wicket and a man at long on as well, tied to the boundary rope. That is his area, Sam Curran. As I say, he's played superbly so far this year for Surrey, primarily as a batsman. They're working his way back in as a seamer.
Well bowled from Dawson.
Yeah.
Good line and length there.
He started nicely here as Liam Dawson. He's a very well-travelled cricketer.
Well, no, you're right, Phil. You know, Sam's played most as a batter. He's coming back from injury and easing with the bowling, but he's been bowling a lot of overs recently in the last couple of games as well.
This is it, fresh from a 4 for the other night, Sam Curran. Bowled again by Liam Dawson, but he will be off the mark. He will squeeze a single there. So Sam Curran is off and running. Brings Will Jacks, of course, back onto strike. The final delivery of this first over. Successful one already for Hampshire. And I think they need that. They need a bit of a fillip, because they've been really down in the doldrums so far in this tournament. And that's gone all the way. I think that's carried all the way over extra cover. They're just checking, but from our angle, that looked like that had just gone all the way. Beautifully played. It is 6. It is 6
Just
indeed.
crept over the boundary.
For Will Jacks. Played within himself as well, a kind of 80% shot. You know, you don't want to overhit it.
It was nice and controlled, you know.
Yeah. And indicative of how he's played all year, really. Yeah, that's beautiful. So, 9 for 1.
This is Woody
down. And this will be Chris Wood, yeah. Left arm seamer, of course. He's been around the block. He's played 1,000 games. 1,000 games for Hampshire.
Lovely guy as well.
That he is. And a very, very well experienced pedigree cricketer in 20-over cricket. It's a beautiful setting, is it not?
Best place to play cricket, I'd say.
Curran will pick up a couple, possibly just the one. Squeeze off the outside edge.
There's not many better venues than the Oval, is there? Let's face it.
Especially not barely a cloud in the sky. The first evening of a 4-day weekend as well.
Start the Jubilee parties early.
That's right, absolutely. It's been a joyous start so far. England have had an interesting day, by the way. I don't know if you've seen the scoreline.
I did. I was watching it enthusiastically this morning, and then
exasperatedly this afternoon.
Yeah, went to get some food, and I was like, oh my gosh, what's happening? Oh, that's 4.
That is 4.
Worked off the legs there.
Yeah, a little bit of bat there. Well played by Will Jacks.
That's come running down towards us here at the Chatham Finstand. He helps it on his way very nicely.
Do you know Will Jacks much? Did you have much dealing with him?
Only of recent. He came to an A session a couple of weeks ago as part of his Over Invincibles gig, and yeah, he was great. He came down and gave some good tips to the players, and spoke of his aspirations of trying to play for England. And I think if any of the formats is going to be, it would be this at the moment, where there's a chance in the T20 game. So he started this season well, and he's always looked like he can kick on even more, and I think he's expressing that, and hopefully he expresses that even more so today. And he offers a bowling option too, as we've seen in the Red Bull game.
Absolutely that. Wood into his business, as you'd expect. Poor work out there, I'm afraid. And they get back for a comfortable 2 in the end. And it's these little details that, if you're struggling for form, as Hampshire are, you don't want to give too many easy runs away, especially not in these early parts. Yeah. Tom Prest out there, he's just come into the side.
He did the hard way, he got round and then just fumbled him.
Chris Wood, he knows his way around a 20-over game, does he not?
Bowls that good length, just back of a length and into the deck. You never know, you can get out of an oval wicket as well.
Will Jacks already into double figures, of course, 13. It's good from Chris Wood,
yeah,
as you'd expect. He brings all that experience to this side. Quite a storied cricketer, really. He's had his challenges off the pitch, as we know, but he's a real stalwart of this Hampshire side.
We actually did our level 3 coaching course together. Spent a good time in Derby with
so you know him personally.
Chris Wood, and getting to know him.
He's clipped nicely out into the onside again. He's moving very nicely, Will Jacks. That is the end of the second over, 17 for 1. Surrey recovering from that early setback.
Yeah, going at a good rate so far. Jacks is keeping that tempo up. Yeah, no, Chris Wood, good guy. We spent doing that course together for quite a bit of time, and very knowledgeable young man, and just how he's handled his pressures on and off the field, and how he's great to see him still around the game and getting all these opportunities. And there's been Hampshire kind of through and through.
Exactly that, one club man. He's had great success with Hampshire over the years. They've been a high-class white ball cricket team for a long, long time, Hampshire. It's interesting, though, that they are excelling in the red ball game and struggling a wee bit in the white ball game. Possibly it's a challenge to excel in both. That possibly psychologically you have to prioritise one ahead of the other. Anyway, change of bowling. Ellis is coming in for the third over, 17 for 1, Surrey. Here's the overseas. Beautifully done.
That's a great. So much for a loosener.
Yeah, that's a good start. Bowling to his field as well, of course. He's got nobody behind square on the boundary on the offside. He's got 2 men again out for the pull hook flick.
Yeah, I think he's quite cautious of that short boundary to the leg side from with a deep square and a deep mid wicket. Interesting if Surrey can make use of that with the bat.
Well, if Will Jacks can repeat his form from the other night, then he's going to be peppering that leg side boundary. Stuck one out of the ground, didn't he, in the first over?
Sliding down. Not going to get that one.
Bit of pace though from Nathan Ellis.
Yeah, definitely good speed to start up with. Interesting run up. Bit jittery, but he's getting there. It's coming out quite nice the last couple of balls.
Yeah, a little bit of in-duck as well. I mean, it's going comfortably down the leg side, as you can see on the replay, but a little bit of pace through the air and a little bit of movement off the seam as well. If you can just get that line right outside off stump, then he may well be in business. Bowled again, a tight one. Oh.
Sam gets a big dive up.
Yeah, may well have looked to go bowler's end. I guess he was on the angle, so it would have been harder to have adjusted. But Will Jackson played that off the back foot. He would have been struggling to make his ground. There's a bit of a hesitation as well.
Yeah, I think Curran was right. Definitely, the bowler's end would have been a better option.
Yeah, Curran running to the striker's end, put the dive in. I think it would have been very tight as it was. He fights on. It's just so good to see Sam Curran back, isn't it? He had such a tough time of it last year with the stress fracture, and it was a bit of a damp squib of an ending for his summer, and obviously quite a quiet winter. It's just so good to see him back. He's one of the most talented young players we've got in this game.
Such a talent, bat and ball, and the more he can get his head down and stay injury free, in terms of red and white ball opportunities for England, they'll definitely come back again.
Yeah, no doubt. So I think he bowled 10 overs in one of the earlier championship games, and then they managed his rehabilitation from there on in, but he was playing as a batsman and justifying his place absolutely at number 5-6.
Ooh, tasty bouncer.
Yeah, that is well bowled. All sorts in this over already by Nathan Ellis. Yeah, it's an interesting start, this, Chev. A little bit of nip and tuck.
That's a good little interesting battle after 3 overs. Interesting how this last ball goes.
Take that before.
You take those ones. That has raced the way down to the Bedford stand, just in front of their dugouts.
Yeah, short boundary down there, of course, with the strip being slightly over to that side. And you can't have them everywhere. Understandably, he's going to have 2 men out for the, for the leg side shot, but anything wide outside off stump, Sam Curran's going to throw his hands at it. I think that's the first ball that he's mistimed all season that I've seen.
Man, Surrey would take that, I think, after the start of the first over, 22 for 1 after 3. They've done well. That's a new ball, another bowling change as well.
Yeah, it's James Fuller, is it? Yeah, James Fuller, and so 4 overs, 4 new bowlers, keeping it fresh. That's
definitely.
That's
keeping the batsman guessing.
Yeah, it's accepted policy now, I think, in T20 cricket. Very useful cricket to James Fuller.
That's gone away, that's 4 runs.
Indeed, Will
Got through the gap of point.
Jack's already into his work. 19 already not out, coming off the back, of course, of that classy 50-odd the other night. Got himself going with that stunning shot over extra cover. Wasn't that gorgeous?
pushed into the leg side. Easy single.
Yeah, I think at this point they will take that. Get Sam Curran back on strike. Sam Curran yet to really get going. I think a runner ball in the first 6 is... You'll absolutely take that, especially at the moment when Hampshire are trying to find a little bit of form.
I think going back to
themselves.
Going back to what you said about the bowlers, I think as a bowler in T20 cricket, you've just got to be ready to go. At any stage, it's not really a loosener. That's a glorious cover drive.
Sam Curran has not moved. That was in the slot.
I think you just have to say don't move to the other batsman, don't you? That is a glorious cover drive.
Yeah, he's ticking Sam Curran, isn't it? It's a good move by Surrey, I think, to put him in the top 3 as well. We've seen it in the IPL, of course, that he was used by Chennai as something of a pinch hitter, moved up and down the order, but they fancied him there at 3, and I think it's a good move by Surrey to bring him in.
We're just stuck in the ground a bit, stuck in the wicket.
Yeah.
But I like the intent though. I like that he's rocking back.
There's no lack of intent. There's no lack of intent with everything that Sam Curran does with the bat. If anything, it's reining himself in, which is the challenge for Sam Curran. And we've seen it in 4-day cricket this year. You know, I've not seen a player play more fluently than him. I've seen a lot of 4-day cricket this year. And yet he's still looking for that elusive first 100.
Hey, that's a lovely shot. Just using his wrist. Is that run is literally right in front of us down at the J.M. Finstone.
Stylishly done by Sam Curran. I think he knew what he was doing there. It was shortish, wideish, and Fuller's just trying to kind of cut his fingers across that.
He's really played it with nice control. Used his wrist well here.
So 35 for 1, Surrey. They've recovered well from that setback from Jason Roy, playing all around one early on. And both of these young homegrown players are starting to grow into their work. Make that one more. That's 3 in a row now. Beautifully done again by Sam Curran. He's just waited for that. Played it late under his eyes, opened the face, opened the wrists a little bit and just guided it beautifully behind square. So that's 3 and 3 for Sam Curran, and suddenly he's shooted up to 18. Jack's on 20.
Just under 10 and over. Definitely take that with Jason Roy going in the first over.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good recovery. It's such a gorgeous place to bat, of course, Chevy, that it's hard to really work out what a par score is, you know, because anything can be reined in here. You can pull anything in if it's your night. I've seen some amazing games of cricket here where the best part of 400 runs are made in 3 hours. Chris Wood, anyway, is back into the attack.
Change of scenery for him from coming back. Started off at the members' pavilion and now here at the J.M. Finn stand. So interested to see what that tactic looks like.
Yeah, it's a good move. Angling across the right-hander, of course. Yeah, he's an experienced old warhorse, is Chris Wood. He's got a good bag of tricks as well. Good stuff again from Will Jacks.
I think that looked like one of the tricks you're talking about there. I think it comes out of the back of the hand.
Yeah. So what do we have here? Still got a tight offside field, so Jacks is going to have to do well to bisect it. Again, picks out the man.
There's bowling good areas here. Bowling to the field, as you say. They've got, it's very tight in there with point, cover, extra cover, all fit relatively close.
Yeah, it makes sense, of course, with a short boundary on the leg side to the right-hander, that a left arm over the wicket seamer would be utilised from this end, the J.M. Finn stand end, and it makes sense that that angle running across, and I say that, he's gone around the wicket to try to change the angle. And there you go.
And that's 6. That's good. That's good. You know, that short boundary.
Well, that was the gamble, and it's backfired on Chris Wood.
I don't really understand the change of tactic on that one, to be fair. He had great success just going across the veranda, and it's just come back in, and I don't even think Jackson's really hit it that well.
You don't have to, though, when the boundary is so inviting out the way to the Archbishop Tennyson School. And I mean,
that's supposed to be about 60 yards.
He stayed in the shot very nicely, though.
Yeah.
You know, his balance is always good at the crease. We saw that the other night.
If he connects well, it's definitely going to get Archbishop Tennyson School. Shot. Beautiful shot through the covers there.
That is 4 more, and Will Jackson's beginning to enjoy himself out here. 2-6, 4 4s, and he's away again. He's been Surrey's standout player so far with the bat in T20 this year.
But when he came to the session, the ACE program session not too long ago, he did mention how he's really looking forward to the T20 season starting, and you know, he's running away with it.
Yeah, now they could put a man out, which makes sense. I think deep cover, try and give himself a little bit of support. But there's
6
no one
more
there.
pieces. That's 6 more pieces. And that brings up the 50 for Surrey as well.
So, after 5 overs, 55 for 1 Surrey, and they're very, very happy with their work, having weathered that early setback. Will Jacks already 36 from the first 5 with 3 sixes, all of them pretty well struck. Surrey 55 for 1. I'm going to hand over to Mr. Neil Manthorpe.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Phil Walker. I'll tell you what, the last 2 overs have been savage. The 4th over, bowled by James Fuller, went for 17, and that one from Chris Wood has gone for a dozen. Actually, 14. So it's 2 overs from Chris Wood at a cost of 24. And after 5 overs, Surrey are 55 for 1. Always felt to me to be a bit of a step backwards by Hampshire, deciding to bowl first, giving Surrey the advantage. Sam Curran now pushes this one up towards mid-off and scampers through for a quick single. I think Sam is a wise enough and experienced enough cricketer to realise that his best position at the moment is at the non-striker's end.
Definitely. You've got to, when the batsman's on form like Will Jacks is, you just got to give him the strike, really.
Exactly. Yeah. Just and encourage him to take a single off the last ball of the over, so you don't even have to use up one yourself. Nathan Ellis, he is bowling with good pace, as Phil just said, and it's the last over of the power play, and powerful swing there from Will Jacks. Didn't time it, so he is capable of not timing it.
I think that's the first one he hasn't timed.
Well, 56 for 1. Beginning of the 6th over. Be some respite, Hampshire will hope, after the power play. But with that short leg side boundary, Chevy Green, I don't know that. Yeah, I mean it does control and dictate tactics, but sometimes it can also be counterproductive, because the batters know exactly what the bowlers are going to do to try and protect themselves from that short boundary, and so you can set yourself up.
Yeah, of course.
And the guys hit the ball so cleanly these days, so powerfully, that they're not going to be intimidated by the longer ball.
And with some of the bats that they have, even if they don't time it that well, it's going to fly off and go for 6 as well, as we've seen many times this season.
Yeah, exactly. Well, short third and short fine, leg up in the circle. There you go, Sammy. Get down the other end, or he'd have been gone. That was an excellent piece of work from Joe Weatherly.
That's twice he's pulled out the big dive to get in.
Well, he was just a little bit complacent there. He was just assuming that Hampshire would be happy to see him scamper down the other end. But I think I mean, how ridiculous that we're talking about Sam Curran as if he's some kind of stodgy blocker. But compared to Will Jacks, goodness me. Jacks currently 37 not out from 20 balls, 3 4s and 3 6s. And this time he does take enough pace off to allow him to scuttle down the other end. Sam Curran, 19 off 11. That's all the evidence you need that he's no stodgy blocker. But he looks like he's been plodding along, doesn't it?
It's just because of how well Jackson's been going.
Hampshire have had a ring of 5 on the offside for pretty much all of the power play. And a slower ball bouncer, very well bowled. That is well disguised, and you know you've bowled a cunning delivery when Will Jacks in this form is fooled into playing it too early. Power play done, 6 overs gone. Surrey 58 for 1. What was your thought on Hampshire bowling first? Surely on a losing run, try and give yourself a chance to take control early.
I would have thought they would have put themselves in and tried to have something to bowl at, considering the form that they're in, especially with the, good conditions for batting, and with the short boundary on the one side, you would have thought they would have liked to have gone for it.
58 for 1. Right, it's over number 7 to be bowled by Mason Crane. So the savagery of the power play, he was spared. Ooh, good turn, first delivery. Appreciable turn. Such a fabulous atmosphere, you know. 2 years ago, I happened to be close by the Oval on the night of a Vitality Blast game, and I called my old friend Alex Stewart, whom I commentated in the days when he was a commentator. Oh dear, that's a poor delivery. That is a poor delivery. That is help yourself. Can't believe Will Jacks hit it such a short distance. It's almost a half tracker, a leg stump.
He didn't really put much effort into it.
Just sort of helped it on its way, really, didn't he? I would have expected him to hit that into the best seat in the house, just below the scoreboard.
My good friend Ebony's in there as well, so it would have been interesting if she would have had a catch.
That's right, exactly. Well, it's not often we get to say that's a really small 6, but it was. Will Jacks' standards. Anyway, so I called Alex Stewart and I said, any chance of a ticket, Gaffer? Because I'm allowed to call him Gaffer. Because he was the gaffer. We go back.
Way back.
And he said no. I said, you're kidding. Really? Well, what was the capacity back then? About 30,000. I said, you can't get a spare ticket? He said, no. We're absolutely sold out. All the hospitality tickets are gone as well. I said, can't you get me in the side gate? He said, no. Anyway, we're not quite at capacity tonight, but it is still a fabulous atmosphere. 4 more. Surrey are galloping. 20,000. Not 30,000. It's just the usual topspin I'm applying. Isn't there not more than 20,000? 20,000 tonight. Phil Walker's telling me there's 20,000 in tonight. Yeah, I knew the capacity was more than 20. But it is just the most fabulous thing.
Beautiful evening as well.
It is a stunning evening. It's virtually a cloudless sky. And I commend Surrey County Cricket Club for the initiative that I think was instituted many years ago when kids under 16 get in for £1. I think that's
kids
just
for
brilliant.
£1. Can't go wrong with that.
I'm not aware of similar initiatives anywhere else in the world.
There's been a lot of interesting talks about ticket prices for cricket recently, so
apparently it's only £140 to get to a test match.
Just 140.
Can you imagine a family of 4 going along and getting themselves something to eat as well?
Might as well have gone on a holiday.
Well, you could fly to Argentina and stay for a week and have steak every night for that kind of money.
It's not a bad holiday. Much more enjoyable than Lord's, to be fair.
Vegetarian options are also available.
You can't forget the vegans.
Exactly. James Fuller back into the attack for his second over. That can't be the best feeling in the T20 game when your first over's gone for 17 and the skipper says, Jimmy, you're back into the attack. Will Jacks is 44 from 23 balls, strike rate of almost 200. Sam Curran. Every time you look, you realise that he's got another half dozen. 25 off 17. That's a poor delivery from, it would have been a wide. But Sam Curran, I mean, it's difficult, isn't it, Chevy, when the adrenaline, the T20 adrenaline is flowing, and we stood up here in the commentary box saying, well, he could have left that one alone, but you know, the adrenaline's flowing, he's pumped up.
Oh, you'd have thought he would have gone for it even more, rather than just pushing it into the offside.
Tell you what, I've got a funny feeling Jacks could be on for a really big one this evening. It's an absurd thing to say in a T20 game when an opening batter has only reached 46, but we are in the 7th over and in the 8th over, sorry. But he's such a destructive batter and with such power that I've just got a funny feeling he might be on for a biggie. That is a good bouncer. Got a slippery change of pace, hasn't he, James Fuller?
He's trying to command back a bit of respect.
Yes, that's right. Well, I mean, he has been a little bit disrespected, which is, of course, the batsman's job to disrespect the bowler.
Especially in this format of the game. Oh, well manoeuvred.
That's yeah. Well, just wondering whether Fuller followed him there. I think Sam Curran may have moved a little bit early. And I think, and if he did, that's extremely well bowled. I mean, it's a victory, isn't it? Keeping a batsman out of a single, especially when it's Curran and Jackson in the crease. Backing away, looking to hit to the short offside boundary, and again, I think credit to James Fuller for following the batter. That's very well done. End of the 9th over, and Surrey put into bat 75 for 1. Let's go to Ashley Wilmot, who has a special guest in the best seat in the house.
I'm here in the Kia best seats in the house. I'm here in Kia's best seats in the house with a very familiar face at Surrey Cricket. Ebony Rainford Brent. Ebony, you having a good time?
We're having a great time. I'm here with my friends, Anita, Eugenia, Ricardo and Richard, and they've all come down. Some are cricket fans, some are not, so I think we're having a great night and the atmosphere is incredible.
What have you made of the cricket so far?
Yeah, good. I got nervous when we lost Jay Roy, but I think the boys have really bounced back. So they're in a good position. I think we're going to win.
Great to speak to you.
Slapped away out on the offside. Liam Dawson, experienced Whiteley campaigner. You see that the problem for Hampshire and the benefit for Surrey of having a left-hander right-hander combination is that Dawson can't be sure that how he's going to protect that short leg side boundary, leg side to the right-hander. There are two right-handers, and I suspect he might not be bowling at this end. He fired that one in towards leg stump.
In the right-hand, left-hand combination, you know, really does unsettle some of the fielders. The positioning just keeps everyone thinking.
there's a lot of guesswork that goes into successful bowling in T20 cricket, but it's not random guesswork. I think that's the important thing to say. There's a massive amount of analysis.
I was just about to say, so much analysis that goes on, and certain players, what they do for certain balls, you know, particular combinations.
When I say guesswork, I'm just saying is that you might know that 72% of the time a batter throughout his career, or at least the career in which analysis has existed, tries to hit a boundary after 2 dot balls, 72, but you can't be sure that he will this time. Well, I mean, it is a very, very good Kia Oval pitch, unsurprisingly, and I think you would think that 100 and lots, maybe 200 would be a good score. 200 is a good score on any pitch, any time, any day of the week.
Well batted, Will Jacks.
That's 50 for Will Jacks. Terrific innings from Will Jacks. 3 4s, 4 6s, and it's come up off just 30 deliveries. Going to kick on. Pretty laid-back character, isn't he, Will Jackson? He's not sort of like, you know.
Yeah, I saw him when he came in today, and he looked. As I was coming into the player area, he was just coming in, and you know, he looked very relaxed, and he had a bit of a laugh and a joke with Darren Vanez, the strength and conditioning coach, and you know, he just seemed like he was in good spirits. And I think when you're in good form and you believe and you back yourself, you can just continue the performances after performance, and he's done exceptionally well here, scoring a very quick 50.
So much batting to come. Scary, really. Tom Prest
into
the attack and out of the attack.
That's a great shot from Sam Curran, slapped back over the head for 6.
They've rung the changes, Hampshire, after their 3rd consecutive defeat. Brad Wheel, Scottish seamer, out, and James Vince also out of the lineup. No Scott Curry, but it's not going according to plan at the moment. Tis for Surrey, going along at a cracking pace. I'm assuming that they're going to stick with their funky batting lineup with Jamie Overton coming in as a pinch hitter at number 5.
I think if you've got Son on the Ryan coming in later, he might float around a bit.
Oh, that's just delightful. I mean, it'd be hard-pressed to say that it was a genuinely short delivery, but maybe a yard short of a decent length. So quick. Quick hands. I mean, people talk about the power of Will Jacks, but that was finesse, subtlety. Okay, that was power.
A bit more brute force on that.
Yeah.
Bottom hand gave it a good punch.
It's Ross Whiteley fielding out there. Maybe time for him to come good in a sluggish season. A couple of years ago, he was one of the great hidden gems of T20 cricket. It's amazing how people didn't realise he had a strike rate of 170. But difficult to be consistent in T20 cricket, unless you're Joss Butler, of course.
Yeah, what IPO he just had.
Absurd, isn't it? Ridiculous. 400s.
I think for every England fan's sake, we hope we can continue that for the rest of the summer.
Starting in Amstelveen, Amsterdam, on the 17th of June, when England play a World Cup Super League 3-day ODI series against the Netherlands. Netherlands are busy with a World Cup Super League ODI series at the moment. They lost the 2nd game to the West Indies today, having lost the 1st on Tuesday. but just a couple of years ago, I mean, pre-pandemic, the idea of England playing concurrent series, ODI and Test, I mean, 2 separate squads, 2 different teams.
Especially
You'd
the
have
depth
been
of
locked
players.
up. Really, it's amazing, but the pandemic's changed the world. It's changed our perception of the game, certainly. What, you know, in a few years' time, we'll be saying, what, they used to be warm-up games before series?
Ooh. Back in the here and now, and Sam Curran is doing his thing. He's beginning to really play here. He's using his feet against the spinners. He's using his hands to be creative against the quicks. And suddenly, Neil Manthorpe, on to 39. You barely noticed him get going. But I tell you what, considering they were 2 for 1 in the first over, this is a pretty good go. 94 and counting, the partnership, and make that 100 bang on cue. I've said it before this evening already, but there is no cleaner hitter in the English game, with maybe due deference to Mr. Jos Buttler, than Sam Curran. There's a purity to the way that he plays. We've seen it all year. He's in there at first drop now in this T20 side. He's coming off the back of a good 60-odd last week. And he is really beginning to establish himself in that top order now for Surrey. The 100's up.
100's up, and, you know, going at nearly at 10s. Very impressive stuff.
Yeah. Penny for your thoughts, Mason Crane, bowling into the pads. That leg spin.
Push.
Yeah, it's looking very, very tasty for Sam Curran at the moment.
But you're right, guys. It's just got to 47 without us really even noticing.
Yeah, it's a sign of a good player. And it's interesting as well, these two, neither of them, I don't want to tempt fate, but neither of them have made a 3-figure score in T20 cricket.
That's a mighty blow.
Whoa.
That's a mighty blow.
Flick of the wrist, Chevy. You coach young'uns, just talk me through that shot.
He just played that so effortlessly as well, to bring up his 50, to just come down, move his feet, come down the wicket, just pure time, and his hands have just gone beautifully through the ball. And unfortunately, someone's just missed out on the key catch there.
Yeah, it's probably the shot of the day so far, Sam Curran. He's just manoeuvred himself into position so he can meet that on the half volley, then let the hands flow through it. It's beautifully done.
That's another.
And he's cleared him again.
That's another.
Make that 3 for.
And that's another job for the Kia catch. Kia saving on to some money here.
That's right. I can't believe it. I said before the game started how much I'd like to see a Kia catch. We've had 2 chances spurned in consecutive deliveries now. I was just thinking how ironic it would be if Sam Curran has gone past 5,000 first-class runs without scoring 100. He's only got 1,200 T20 runs. Could score 100 in this format.
Yeah. He's just got flown past Will Jackson as well.
You have to respect that, don't you? The head down, you know, drop it into the onside for a single after
just milking him.
After taking 18 from the previous 4 deliveries. Classy work by Sam Curran. Classy work by both of these Surrey players.
I think they'll like to hope when you take 1 at the end of the over after a few boundaries, they might keep him on. I think it was a good ball. It wasn't too bad. You came back well.
I remember I did that as a kid. Full of beans, hit 5 4s in a row, and thought, be cute. You know, 6th delivery, just work it into the onside. Missed it, of course. You know, cleaned up. There was a lesson in that. You've got to go with your instincts, I think, in this game.
Hit another 4.
Yeah. But Sam Curran, this is excellent. 60 from 32. As I said, 64, I think he made 2 or 3 days back. He's really in the plum part of his career at this point, Sam Curran, with the bat. He's really beginning to really emerge now as a player that Surrey can bank on in both
every
formats.
format. Yeah, I was going to say, in all formats, he's come along so well, and he's ever since he started his career, he's had that exuberance as a youngster and just backed himself. We've taken on many challenges, and I think coming in at 3 hasn't phased him, and he's just running with it.
So Fuller back into the attack. Sam Curran treating him with the disdain that he's treated everybody so far.
Tell you what, Mason Crane's eyes will be watering.
Yeah.
2 overs for 35.
Yeah, it's a tough.
Look at those. Thanks for those figures.
It is a tough gig bowling spin at the Oval at times.
I remember the early days of T20. You bowled 4 overs for 35 and you thought you'd had a bad night.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Will Jacks just goes about his business. He's become the anchor of this innings, with Sam Curran having really opened those shoulders of his.
So they've almost switched roles.
Yeah, they've both cleared the boundary 4 times each, though. And Surrey are building one hell of a platform here. Dare I say it, for any folks watching of a Hampshire persuasion, Kieran Pollard remains in the hutch, ready to go. Laurie Evans too. And Sunil Narayan. Yeah, watching Sam Curran emerge this year, it's been a really good news story, I think, for English cricket, obviously for Surrey, but for English cricket more broadly. He fell out of last summer. He made a pair in the Test match, his final game. He was struggling with his back. And just to see him with that kind of, as you say, that exuberance, that vitality, he's really thrown himself into his cricket. You can see how much he's enjoying being out there, expressing himself. He's a free spirit of a cricketer. And there you have it.
That's a free-spirited shot.
Just a single, though. Nicely played. No, and again, shows that he's thinking clearly here, Sam Curran.
The point about Sam Curran frustrates me is the amount of speculation about his job definition. His, you know, give him a role. What is he? Is he a bowling all-rounder? Is he a top-order batsman who can bowl? But the truth is, the reason that there is that speculation is because he can do everything.
Yeah.
And he can open the bowling if you need him to. He can bat 3 and do it well.
Just a single there to Will Jacks. Yeah, it puts me in mind of what Alex Stewart said about him when he first emerged, first came out into the public eye, and people were wondering, what the hell is this cricketer that we have here? And Stewart said he saw him as a number 6 who bowls in the fullness of time. But I think because England wanted to fast-track him into their setup, and because they saw that he was a point of difference with the left-arm swing, he became seen as a bowler who batted. But I think Stewart has always seen him, and I think people here who know, they've always seen him ultimately as a batter who bowls. I think this is what you're seeing this year.
Outrageous! Ridiculous! That's gone 20 rows back, using the pace. Amazing.
That is an amazing shot.
I can tell you, Neil Mandel, as well, it's gone straight down the gully between the stands. So
I love that.
So if somebody's taken that while holding their beer outside of our view, that is one hell of a catch.
Some of the stewards, they like to keep people waiting in the gap. Yeah. if they're going nailed on that one.
Wait till the end of the over, folks. Well, you can't bowl to the kid at this minute. Make that 5 maximums now. Sam Curran allied to 5 fours as well. Suddenly, he's 68 from 37. And as you predicted, Neil, the danger with deciding that you're going to throw the ball to your seamers and your spinners and try and keep Surrey under control, it's not really working out, is it?
But what a base to have, what a platform. 127 for 1 of 12 overs. With that you mentioned there not too long ago, for the batting to come, that could keep this momentum and pace going is ridiculous. It's frightening. It's really
good on Liam Dawson. 2 overs for 35. Throws himself the ball again.
Skipper. Maybe wish he hadn't.
Oh, he's put him down again. Although, was that? No, yeah, he's put him down, I'm afraid. It was flat, hard, another 6. Straight into the bread basket and out again, I'm afraid.
Can you imagine somebody tossing you £1,000 in rolled up banknotes and you drop it?
The fans are keeping Kia's money all right today.
Oh, now then, skewed to extra cover. It'd be a good catch.
That's very good catch.
Excellent piece of work. It's an excellent piece of work by Mason Crane, who came round from extra cover and took that over his right shoulder. Diving, that's a superb catch in the circumstances. And Will Jacks goes. It's been an enterprising and classy knock by a player who's very much in a purple patch in his one-day career, but
very good.
He's got to go.
Good, to get this start going. And we said that Dawson coming back on, gets hit for a 6, but comes back well and gets the wicket again. That's his second wicket.
Imagine when Liam Dawson speaks to his dad later on tonight and he says, "How did it go, son?" "Oh, not good and bad." Took 2 wickets.
Did you say I got a twofer?
Yeah.
Don't need to mention how many sixes he went for. Laurie Evans. Good friend of mine, Laurie. Got a lot of time for him. I'm excited to see how he gets on today. Saw him doing some range hitting recently as well. So hopefully that will come off.
Yeah, he's done some work with you guys, hasn't he, at Ace as well? I've seen him in the Ken Barrington indoor school a few times, giving a few master classes to some of your pupils, passing on some of his hard-earned knowledge. 2 stints, of course, now at Surrey. He's seen it all as Laurie Evans. He's a fine cricketer, and he's matured as a player and become a more powerful and consistent option for a number of teams now around the world.
He's established himself as one of the top, white ball players in the world now, and his recent exploits in the Big Bash, and where he got that man of the match performance. I still like to try and take credit for that. We actually did a Zoom, like an Insta Live, hours before he went to play. So I still say, if it wasn't for my pep talk, mate, he would have got there.
He owes it all to you, Chef. Meanwhile, Sam Curran just goes about his business. Moving on to 69 now. Surrey 135 for 2 with 7.2 overs still to come. From here then, Chevy Green, anything less than 200 and Surrey will be kicking themselves.
Yeah, I think they've got a big enough base to kick on for 200 plus, with the batting to come as well.
I was thinking 220.
Well, indeed. Indeed. Have you ever played here, Chef?
Yes, I've been lucky to play
here.
Any? Not many.
Tough place to bat. Final ball of the over, and Sam Curran has skewed it, and he's gone. So the weight goes on for Sam Curran to break that 3-figure barrier. But what a knock, Chevy Green. 69, 5 sixes, 5 fours. And he's laid a fantastic foundation here for the last few.
I think he deserves to get a bit of a standing ovation as he comes off from the crowd, and beautiful, clean hitting, and very well deserved all this applause that is coming.
Well, you talk about standing ovation. There's few people sitting. 20,000 in tonight. Oh, what's a beautiful evening, and
as they rise in the beds to stand,
they come together as one to acknowledge another piece of pure, unadulterated class by Sam Curran. He really is immensely watchable.
He is, but just going back to what Liam Dawson there, gutsy to come on at this stage of the game, but he ends up getting 2 important wickets, getting rid of the 2 set batters, and now we've got Narayan coming in. As I said, he's probably that floater that would have been around in, you're not sure, and you never know with Narayan and he's batting. Sometimes he comes off, and maybe not a lot of the time he doesn't.
Well, I mean, he is a player who I think delivered a 12-ball 50 in the IPL. So,
yeah,
when it's his day, scatter.
You've got to beware of the spin king, even with the bat.
Yeah, he's a marvellous cricketer, Sunil Narayan. You have to see him to fully understand him. He can look innocuous with the ball, and yet befuddles the best, and has done for years and years and years. There's not a massive amount of lateral movement, but there's a bit of canniness in there.
Known as the spin king. You never know what's going to come. Can't read it, pick it. But we'll see how he gets on with the bat today.
It's a good coup that Surrey have picked him up, no doubt. Mason Crane back into the attack, and again he's got his 3 men outside, in an arc on the leg side against the right-hander. Laurie Evans is already off strike, bringing Narayan again, of course. Now, here's a southpaw. He's a left-hander, and he likes the leg side, and it's a short and enticing boundary. So, something has to give here, Neil Manthorpe. Mason Crane, Sunil Narayan.
Yeah, I must say, Hampshire can at least console themselves. That's a wonderful shot.
Off the mark straight away.
That's just sumptuous timing. Not the best delivery.
He's played that beautifully well. Beautiful hand straight through it.
Yeah, that's unreasonably good timing, first ball, isn't it? Look at that, gorgeous stuff. Nobody there at straight mid-wicket.
Oh.
And And that's cleared him as well.
Pieces again.
Out to Lee's groundsman hut as well, just slightly to the right of Ebony's best seat in the house slot as well. And he's away, 10 from 2. Thank you very much.
I think from here you can see Lee's having a bit of food in there. He wasn't phased at all.
Yeah, he's not phased by much, is Big Lee.
Mason Crane's on for getting a... He's on for a 60. I mean, it's tough, isn't it? It's tough for any bowler to defend that sort of extremely short mid-wicket boundary. For a leg spinner. Okay, well, defend the long
the other side.
then.
14 from 3, Sun and Orion. Thank you for coming, sir.
Not hanging around here, is he?
151 for 3, 150's up. In pretty good time, to say the least. I tell you what, Surrey will be eyeing something monstrous.
I was going to say, at this rate, your 220 Neil's not looking that bad.
I'm thinking they might go past it. I mean, as you keep saying, or you said at the beginning, Phil, they bat down to 9.
Played that well again, so 16 from 4 already.
I like the big cheer from the crowd there, just because it didn't go for a boundary.
This is what he does. He swings from the hip from ball 1. That's clean. That is clean.
Oh, caught it.
Hey.
He's caught it.
You can hear it in the crowd.
Caught it. He's £1,000 richer than Kia catch. It's the 15th time that in the innings that we've had a chance. He's just made himself £1,000.
I think him and his friends there are going to have a great time.
I would have a drink, sir. I would have a drink. You can afford it now.
Next round's on him, I think.
Oh, and the rest. He's got the biggest cheer of the night, folks.
How quick do you think you could do £1,000 in the Oval?
Oh, my night's made. We've still got a second innings, and we've had a terrific amount of entertainment already. I tell you what, any kid under 16 who paid £1 to get in tonight will remember. but the Kia catch is just an initiative I love, and that bloke's year is made.
Meanwhile, steady. 6 to go. So 159 for 3. Surrey will be. Yeah, eyeing up 220 at the very least now, I would say, and anything north of that will take some hauling in. Meanwhile, the stalwart Liam Dawson goes about his business. He's been the only bowler out there really for Hampshire that's been able to hold it relatively together. He's into his 4th now, 3 for 24. And it brings on to strike Sun and Orion, who's 22 from 5.
Just spare a thought for Tom Prest at this stage. He's 19 years old.
Good cricketer, by the way.
He's bowled 1 over for 13. Do you think he's hoping the ball gets thrown to him for another one?
You can have it, Skip.
Those are the challenges you need, though, as a youngster. You've got to be put under pressure to see how you can perform.
What, bowl 1 more over in the last 6 with your opposition 160 for 3?
You can't be much worse than some of the others today.
Yeah, Mason Crane, 3 overs, no maidens, 0 for 58.
But to be fair, Ellis is not.
I told you he was on for 60, but I thought it would be in 4 overs.
That's another biggie.
See you later. That's gone again, and that's a big one. Down in the crowd.
Gone down. Oh my.
15 rows back, folks. Down at deep mid-wicket.
Catch and practice needed in the J.M. Finn stand. The better stand is 1-0 up at the moment. J.M. Finn stand's dropped about 4.
It's right in the slot there for Laurie Evans, but he's enough stay in the shot nicely there, doesn't he? Doesn't try and overhit it, keeps the hands pretty checked on the shot as well, so the body stays in control.
He was doing a lot of that the other day when I saw him doing that range hit in practice.
I spoke to Will Jacks about this actually before the start of the season, and he said try and hit to 80%. Don't hit any more than that. Trust that you have a decent enough natural timing. A good bat, of course, always helps. But yeah, 80%, that's the name of the game. can see that right there with Laurie Evans. Final delivery as he picked him out. Oh, it's just shy of Knight. And you're in Donald there at long on. 1-6-9 for 3, 5 to go. Down to Ashley, folks.
Jim Charlton, Jim, a setback losing Jason Roy so early, but how do you think your team have responded?
They responded pretty well, I think, putting on a good total so far. How many overs left now? So 5 overs so far, got plenty in the tank as well, so we're looking forward to these 5.
Some half centuries, Sam Curran and Will Jacks. How much have they impressed you?
Yeah, they both played beautifully well, played their options, looked to play straight and, took guys down when they needed to take them down as well.
What do you think would be a good total for you this evening?
Well, over 200 definitely, and if we can go at 10s or even 11s, we can get to that 220, 230, well, that'd be fantastic.
Well, let's just see. Thanks for talking to us.
Cheers, no worries, thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Ashley and Jim Troughton. 5 overs to go, 169 for 3. Let's take a quick sweep between the 3 of us, guys. 169 for 3, 5 overs to go. I'll go first. 225.
234.
234.
I was actually going to say 235. So.
All right, well that's fine because anything north of that, and you take the winnings.
234. I don't know how you do numbers like that. You got to go. You've got to be like on the 10 or on the 5.
Well, I've gone a bit low there, haven't I? 225. I'm thinking there might be a couple of wickets. Mind you, that won't make any difference, will it? Bat down to number 9. A couple of wickets ain't going to make any difference.
Jamie Smith coming at 9 is unbelievable.
That's almost it's almost insulting, isn't it? But I mean, he'd be the first to understand the reasons behind it. I mean, he's got a lot of his career ahead of him.
I know you're a bit high up the order, but today, then.
James Fuller. Oh dear,
Also,
gonna have to bowl that one again.
Stretch the arms.
Sunil Narine has 24 off 7 balls. 2 4s and 2 6s. We've had 13 6s in the innings. And here's a good number for you. 13 6s and 11 4s. More 6s than 4s.
Yeah. I can't imagine it happens too often.
No. No.
I'm sure there's a historian somewhere who's got can dig out a stat.
Oh, well, he made it look wide by stepping outside leg stump. But that's tricky for the umpires. That's fair enough, actually. Yeah, I think that's. Oh no, it was entirely fair enough.
No, isn't it? Well,
definitely
well
not a wide. Yeah, absolutely.
Phil, I'd imagine when you're playing, you'd give a batter a bit of stick for a shot like that.
Oh, I'm fully admiring of a shot like that. Look, Sunil Narine is incapable of a bad moment as far as I'm concerned. It's an attitude with him. That's what I love so much about the way he goes about his business.
I like the way James Fuller started this over, actually. He's a clever bowler. He in his first couple of overs, he shows a rare ability to read the batsman. And we talk sometimes about following the batsman. That's if he moves too early. And you can follow him, but there are times when you just have a premonition as a bowler and you work out your options and the batsman's options and you bowl one. Oh dear.
You take those.
Take those anytime.
You take those. 4 in the book, as they say.
Yeah, he doesn't seem unduly bothered where they come.
I don't even think he's necessarily aiming in a particular direction. Sometimes he swings so hard.
It's still a stand and deliver.
I'll tell you what, there's a few Hampshire fielders with their faces in their hands. They're kind of looking down at. There's a few bowlers
Why did we bowl first?
looking at their shoes, hoping the captain doesn't have them in mind. Mason Crane. I mean, can you honestly say he's bowled badly? 3 overs for 58. He's bowled a couple of bad balls.
Shots.
Gaps.
That's gone. Yeah, that's one of the shots of the day for me. That man is absolutely gorgeous because he's kept his base, hasn't he? He's not tried to overhit it.
Yeah, I was just about to say he had a solid base there.
And it comes the ball after I just said that he was swinging
Bowling
so
up.
hard that he had no shape.
Yeah.
It's like, take that.
Yeah.
No, that is a fabulous shot.
If you didn't know where he was from in the world, but you knew a little bit about cricket, you would say that boy is from the Caribbean with that shot.
Definitely has some Caribbean flair.
Yeah, that's fabulous stuff.
Leaning on the back foot to play a nice half volley.
Top edge, top edge.
Oh, one marks
just short of the boundary. This is a truly outrageous innings. Phil, you were mentioning earlier that that IPL 50 that he scored. You said 12 balls. I recall 16 either way. Doesn't make much difference, does it? But this is on a par with that. They're truly outrageous. He's got 36 off 12 balls.
Phenomenal.
I need to say it again. He's got 36 off 12 balls.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal cricketer. Unique, really. No one else quite likes Sunil Narine. Carved out his own little bit of folklore in white ball cricket.
Well, you see, that's James Fuller making a calculated gamble.
Get it, Fuller.
He's gone. I think he's gone slower ball back of a length, which is outrageous. That's putting all your chips on one number on the roulette table. That is.
Neil, from a Surrey perspective, I'm very happy you said after the first 2 balls he's bowling very well.
Well, he started the over well.
yeah. Then I think Narine said, "Let me take over here." Race to 42 of 13 balls.
And could either of you honestly say you think James Fuller bowled poorly tonight? Just gone for his half century.
No.
No, look, there's often a lot of theory around bowling in where you got your 4 overs, you got your 24 deliveries, and often you see real masterclasses. But often you see bowlers doing nothing wrong and they go the distance because that's just the nature of the beast.
It's T20.
And this is
batting friendly game.
Exactly, and this is an unwieldy place to bowl. When the sun is out and the pitch is flat and you're playing against calibre players such as these.
And the 60-yard boundary helps as well.
And a short boundary on the side.
He's bowled 4 overs for 51, and I think he's been the pick of the bowlers.
Well,
I wouldn't like to take anything away from Dawson, though.
Oh, no, that's true. No, sorry. Liam Dawson opened the bowling. He's bowled 4 overs and taken 3 for 34, which is truly outstanding in tonight's carnage.
So it will be 2 from Wood and 2 from Ellis to see this innings out.
Oh, it's all going a bit to pot here for Hampshire.
The senior pro and the overseas pro. You expect them to take the pain at the end, don't you? I just hope Tom Press doesn't get another one. 19-year-old off-spinner. That'd be close to a human rights violation, giving him another over.
Good player, though.
Very good player.
Good young, promising player.
Batter who bowls, involved with the England under-19
Did very well in the last summer for the England under-19s.
Yeah, very good cricketer. They do produce them to Hampshire. No doubt about that.
Short third, that's interesting. There it goes, straight over his head.
Do you think Laurie's getting a bit frustrated here and thinks, well, if Narayan's getting all the action, I want to be in on it as well?
No, I think he's being entertained, isn't he? I mean, if Sunil Narine was swinging and missing, yeah, that'd be frustrating. Narayan's got 42 off 13.
I just thought he just wants to get his own boundaries in with a couple of those last swings he's had.
Can I revise my 225, please? What I meant was 245.
Ah, okay.
No, all right, I'll stick with it. I'm going to be way short, though.
You'd like to think so.
So, Sunil Narine, it was 15 balls in the IPL.
Okay.
Somewhere in between.
Right.
But he did hit a 13-ball 50 in the BPL. So, so 13 balls in the Bangladesh Premier League. Joint second fastest in history.
Who's the fastest?
You tell me. I think Chris Gale hit a 12-baller.
I can tell you that Sunil Narine, and this will be no surprise to either of you, does have the lowest economy rate in the IPL, where he is it's just amazing. I mean, it's actually him and Rashid Khan are just in a it's like a different. You need a different column for the figures for the economy rate.
It's been, I think, a masterful piece of business for Surrey to get Narayan. You know, you're banking on him as he's bowling, as
banking being the opposite word.
Exactly. And he's batting. You just never know what you're going to get. And today's it's been fantastic.
Well, you do know what you're going to get because mostly it's everything or nothing, isn't it? Hit or miss.
That's safe as well. So yeah, folks, Yuvraj Singh, 12 balls, India-England, the infamous game with Stuart Broad. Christopher Gale, 12 balls for Melbourne Renegades against Adelaide Strikers. And Hazratullah Zazai, the sensational Afghan opening bat as well. He also hit a 12-baller as well in Sharjah in 2018. So they are the three 12-ball 50s in this form of the game. And after that, Sanu Narayan slips in there alongside Marcus Trescothick. The only two to have made it in 13 deliveries.
That's outrageous. That's absolutely exotic.
He's nearly run on the pitch for that.
He's gone over extra cover, the long boundary. He's hit inside out. His timing is magical. Oh, that's just too good.
200 now of 17 overs.
He's a stylist, is Laurie Evans. There is he loves gorgeous aesthetic to the way that he plays. He's incapable of playing an ugly cricket shot, and that's shot of the day, Neil.
Yeah, and there's some stiff competition.
I was going to say there's been a few contenders.
I could not disagree that it's at least equal.
Beautiful.
No, that's just beautiful. And the irony about Sanu Narayan, of course, is that for the first 3 or 4 years of his career, he was seen as a luxury item because he couldn't bat.
Yeah.
I mean, he invented a way. He came up with a way, and it's almost self-taught. He taught himself how to hit the ball because it's not always very conventional. But you know, he was left out of various teams a couple of times because he was regarded as a luxury item, and he wasn't a great fielder either. As good a bowler as he wasn't a great fielder and couldn't hit the ball. And you know, talk about the number of cricketers who have reinvented themselves. Well, he's turned himself inside out and he's emerged as one of the great match winners of all time.
Ellis back in to the attack. Wide.
You have to bowl that one again.
201, 18 balls remaining in the innings. You said 235, Sherry?
Yeah, I went 235.
You want to go up?
He doesn't need to.
Well,
he's already got the highest among the three of us, so he's sitting very pretty here, I think.
When I had you going for the 2-3, I was thinking, don't tell you to say 235. I'm going to have to go 240, but 240 wouldn't be too bad. But yeah, this is good.
They could get 240.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's not right.
I'll be able to tell you what the highest vitality blast score is. We got. Oh, have you printed off the records, Chevy? Have you got them there?
I can't take credit for that, but I do know that Surrey's previous highest score against Hampshire at the Oval was 200 for 8 back in 2010.
Well, they're 201 for 3, so they've already passed that. We'll tell you what the highest score in the blast is in just a second. Oh, a swing and a miss, dot ball. That's been a rarity tonight. We've had 15 sixes in this innings so far, 14 fours, sixes still ahead by 1.
So the target for this game has to be 251, which may be a touch too far. But Surrey's highest ever score in T20 cricket is 250 for 6 against Kent at Canterbury in 2018. So it'll take some hitting. And maybe just a step too far for these two.
We'll need an over of 24, won't we?
Yeah, we'd need something spectacular, although the spectacular is quite commonplace out there at the moment. 260 for 4.
Been spectacular all evening.
Yeah, exactly. 260 for 4 is the all-time highest English T20 score. Yorkshire made that against Northants in 2017. Yorkshire actually hold both.
I'd like to see those figures.
But yeah, both highest scores made by Yorkshire, 260 and 255. Good over this.
It isn't it? Just a brilliant over.
Other than those whites, he's bowled particularly well. I think he was 8 runs off his first 2 overs.
Yeah, I thought James Fuller bowled well. He went for 51.
Ryan's just got well, I'm not going to try and say what he's got to do, because he just does his own thing and it's come off pretty well tonight. So, right, at this stage, you definitely get bat on ball.
How good is Liam Dawson? His figures looking at the moment on a night of carnage. 3 for 34. Opened the bowling.
Spin. No, Liam Dawson did very well, you know, to come back at the stage he did, and then to remove Jacks and some Curran in the same over. He's done phenomenal. Just hasn't really been supported by some of the other bowlers.
Yeah, just looking at that Surrey game, you can be forgiven for not remembering it, folks, because it was a no result. Surrey got 250 for 6 in 20, and then the rains came against Kent. And I imagine the good folk of Canterbury were more than happy to depart at half-time on that one.
I don't remember that game. Anyone get 100?
No, Aaron Finch hit 83 in about 7 minutes. 38 balls, 83. Rory Burns opened up, made a 28-ball 50 as well. And Ollie Pope as well, this would have been 2018, so Ollie Pope was just a kid coming through at the time, 34 from 13, with Sam Curran not out 16 at the end as well. So that's their all-timer. I think it's unrealistic now with just 13 balls to go.
Sorry, but Nathan Ellis,
impressive,
had bowled 2 overs for 8. He's come on to bowl overs 18 and 20, and he's just bowled that over for 3. He's bowled 3 overs for 11.
Yeah, I mean, it's madness, isn't it? It's madness. 3 overs for 12. He's got it 4 and over. You'd take that in a test match.
Yeah.
But it's one of those, isn't it?
Where Mason Crane's gone 3 overs for 58.
It's the old grade cricketer maxim, you know, you can kind of stride off tonight, can't you, if you're Ellis, and say, look, folks, I did my job, and I did mine.
Right, we revert to business as normal. Tom Prest with
another fumble.
A fumble, yeah. It may be consequential, but it just, in the context of this innings, doesn't feel likely that giving away a single with a fumble in the outfield is going to be too costly. I could be wrong. Could be wrong.
About to find out.
Yeah, Hampshire really missed James Vince here, you know, because you can build the innings around him, but he's not made the cut. He's obviously picked up a little injury because he played in the last game. We don't know exactly why he's not playing out here tonight.
And you there's a lot in the leadership department as well, where times are getting a bit hard in this situation. Could have been able to regroup it a little bit.
Yeah, indeed. So it looks like quite a raw top 4 in truth. Ben McDermott, we'll see him a little bit later on. He's their Aussie overseas, who's got an excellent T20 record. Certainly at domestic level, made 3 T20 hundreds at domestic level. He's already made white ball runs for the senior Australian side as well, so he could have a night out for sure. Nick Gubbins has been in great form in 4-day cricket.
6 more pieces.
Oh, good effort. Good effort. It is 6, but that is a really brave effort on the boundary by Nick Gubbins. He's tried. He knows it's going for 6. Like a second before it's got to him, he knows it's going for 6. But can I dive in the air and throw the ball back in the ground, at least save a couple of runs?
Fantastic effort.
And that is 50 for Sunil Narine. It's from a mere 22 deliveries. 4 6s, 5 4s.
Yeah, but he's had 4 dot balls in the last 6.
Yeah, scintillating stuff.
Oh, slower ball. It might just have done the trick. Yes, it has. He's holed out to long on. Straightforward catch for Anna Donald. Well bowled.
6 and out. Used to play it in the garden.
What a knock.
Fantastic.
3 unforgettable 50s tonight. 64 for Will Jacks from 36, 69 from 38 for Samuel Curran, and now
for the final bash.
Well, I imagine it might be the big man, Mr. Kieran Pollard. You would suspect he's going to be making his entrance.
Yes it is.
There he is.
There we go.
349 T26s he's hit in his time. Second in the list, the all-time list, Chevy. A mere 150 behind Christopher Gale. That puts it into context.
Boss.
That puts it into context. But again, you're talking about what a coup it was to get Sunil Narayan into your squad for this campaign. Well, to get both of them.
Yeah, the two countrymen are vastly experienced in the T20 game. There's not too many players in the world that have had as stellar careers as they have in the T20 circuit, in all conditions, whether that has been playing in the IPL, Big Bash, Bangladesh, Pakistan. They've been everywhere, these guys. Here now.
He gave an interview, Kieran Pollard, to the magazine that I'm involved with, and you recall that Michael Holding once said to him, look, you can be a legend or you can be a mercenary, i.e. you can commit to white ball cricket and not play red ball.
I think he's both.
And he said, well, I'm a legendary mercenary.
Yeah. Whew. He said that hard.
He's won 5 IPLs, Kieran Pollard, as well, so he brings...
As you do.
Indeed. So he brings more trophies than, or joint most trophies, along with Rohit Sharma, in the history of the IPL. If you can hang in there at Mumbai Indians, then you must be a pretty serious cricketer.
He's a bit like a god down there, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly that.
Played over 600 T20 games. Just think about that for a minute. Almost 2 years of his life.
I wonder how many he remembers.
You didn't ask him in the interview?
I didn't, you know. I didn't actually do the interview, Chevy.
Okay.
I merely
Sorry, I forgot your the level you were at.
Hold on. I can tread the boards, don't worry about that. Anyway, 214 for 4, 6 deliveries to go. The legend Pollard is just on 1, and Laurie Evans has ticked away in the slipstream, really, of Sunil Narayan for 24.
At one point, I was happy with my 2-3-5. I'm not so sure now, to be fair.
Now, the big
How
story...
good's my 2-2-5 looking?
Yeah, it's looking good.
The big story is Nathan Ellis, right? That's hit hard, and he's gone for 4. It's the first 4 that he's conceded, Nathan Ellis, in his final over.
That was a bit brutal, to be fair.
So 5 deliveries to go. 218 for 4. The big man is ticking. Got a very straight long on as well for that straight drive. He likes that area. He also likes over extra cover, so they've got a man out there. Well bowled. Very well bowled.
Just the one. Polly's not running 2.
I think if you won up 5 IPLs, you don't need to run 2.
No, he's not going to push for that.
No. So yeah, quietly heroic stuff here by Nathan Ellis. He's 4 balls out from the end of his spell, and he's gone for 17 in fact.
And I bet you, on average, in every match report that is written after this match, he won't appear before paragraph 6, and it'll be 1 sentence.
Yep. Such is the nature of bowling right arm seam in T20 cricket. Here he comes, 4 balls to go.
Oh,
he's done that very well again. Just cut his fingers across that one for.
He's bowled fantastically well.
He has, absolutely. He's been a man apart here, really.
What we need to do is, between the short spell between innings, is research the history of T20 cricket and find out the best bowling figures in a total of 200 or more. He'd be in with a shout.
Definitely.
It's been superb, Nathan Ellis, really has. Clever changes of pace, which are made more effective by the fact that he can be really quick. like that.
Yeah, just rushed him
like
there.
that. That's a calculated gamble. Kieran Pollard's
no
just
ball.
What?
Oh, that's a bit harsh.
What? Overhead height?
That's harsh.
Nathan Ellis is saying, I'm not understanding your language, Mr. Umpire. What are you talking about?
Umpire Billy Taylor, he's not interested.
Just
Go on,
sending
get
him
back to your mark. Get back to your mark, son.
Chalk on, lad.
I think it's a fair call on replay. He's a big lad, is Curran Pollard, but that has climbed, cleared his shoulder. I think that's a fair comment, fair call.
Harsh.
Harsh, but probably fair.
Fair enough. Oh, that's a good effort. That's a very fine effort. That short, fine leg. Oh,
it's a
Nick
brutal
Gubbins.
game, Neil Mandel. It is a brutal game. If ever a man deserved one, it's Nathan Ellis after the stint he's put in tonight. Still, can he get out of this over without too much more damage? 2 balls to go, 2-2-4 for 4.
Fantastic effort.
He could finish 6-6 and it would still be a good effort.
Absolutely.
Oh, look at that. Just delaying the ball in there. Experience.
Should get him along to one of your race sessions.
I hope so.
I'm sure he'd do it.
Dot ball. Oh, 19.5 and a dot ball. How about that? That's just brilliant bowling from Nathan Ellis. Tremendous stuff. He's actually been one of the Hampshire's best performers in their first 3 games, all of which have been lost. But the man born in Greenacre, New South Wales, has shown why Hampshire saw fit to invest in him.
Yeah, he's had a little bit of IPL, I think. I think he was at Punjab.
Punjab Kings, that's right.
Coming
exactly
around
right.
the wicket to finish.
And he's well outside leg stump, is Curran. Now he moves back in line. And that's going to beat the field. Take it away, Neil Mandel.
Finish.
Well, fantastic night of entertainment so far, and we're only halfway through it. Nathan Ellis goes for 4 off the last ball, and Surrey have finished with a total of 228 for 4. Half centuries from Will Jacks and Sam Curran and Sunil Narine, all coming at a strike rate well in excess of 150, closer to 200, over 200 in Sunil Narine's case. He made 52 off 23 balls with 5 4s and 4 6s. Will Jacks and Sam Curran, after the early loss of Jason Roy. There'd be people around the world, Surrey fans, thinking Surrey made 228 for 4. How many did Jay Roy get?
Yeah.
He was out for a single off his second ball faced. Yeah, as far as the bowling is concerned, Liam Dawson, 3 for 34, was outstanding, but not quite as outstanding as Nathan Ellis, who bowled 4 overs, no maidens, none for 26. Truly outstanding from Surrey. I always thought it was a mistake for Hampshire to take a step back, metaphorically, at the toss, and to say to Surrey, go on then, you make first use of your own home conditions with that powerful batting lineup. It would have been a calculated gamble to bowl first, but I think Hampshire needed to do that to turn their T20 season around. 228 for 4. We'll take a short break and come back with Kate Mason.
Thanks very much, guys. Wow, the atmosphere is really, really buzzing off that incredible innings from Surrey. They were put into bat, let's not forget. They've made 228, which is their second highest total in T20 here at the Kia Oval. The highest, which, as we were sitting there in the commentary box watching on and looking around and enjoying ourselves, we thought, would they make it to 250, which is their highest total in the competition against Kent about a decade ago. So thought they were inching closer towards that, but in the end 228 is an extremely decent score, and I have to say the punters are thoroughly enjoying themselves, including Her Majesty. There's plenty of cutouts of Her Majesty here enjoying the cricket, as far as we can tell. Plenty of Union Jacks and plenty of kids enjoying themselves. We're about to see the highest catch, but first of all, let's get you to your highlights of that first innings with our commentators.
Thank you very much indeed, Kate. So when Jason Roy walked out, having been offered the chance to take first use of pitch and conditions he knows so well. Liam Dawson ended the fun with just his second delivery. The stand-in Hampshire captain.
Yeah, life was feeling pretty good for Liam Dawson after 2 balls, less so after 4, when Will Jacks punched him over extra cover as a sign of things to come. It was the first of 5 sixes for Will Jacks, and 16 in total in the innings.
This was outrageous from Will Jacks. That's difficult short square leg boundary for the right-handed Will Jacks, and Jacks was flying at this stage.
Yeah, Mason Crane had a day to forget, in truth. 3 overs for 58, dragged that one down and was clobbered effortlessly behind square for a maximum. And then I'm afraid he went again. Nothing wrong with the delivery, but everything right with the batting as Sam Curran engineers that shot beautifully over deep mid-wicket. Sam Curran struck it beautifully today.
And also steered it and guided it and caressed it. He hit it hard, but when he didn't need to, he just used the pace of the bowler, and he's helped that one into the crowd.
Yeah, I thought it was probably one of the most mature innings that I've seen Sam Curran play as well. It wasn't too frenetic, there was a real kind of coherence to his thinking. And Will Jacks, meanwhile, there's an uncomplicated quality to Will Jacks, the way that he's gone about his cricket this year. That was his dismissal, just cutting across that one. Excellent catch in the end by Mason Crane, who took another one with Sam Curran not quite getting to the pitch against Liam Dawson. Dawson, the standout bowler, he took 3 for there.
Mason Crane bravely being brought back into the attack, or maybe reluctantly being brought back into the attack, and he continued to collect his air miles. That one was caught in the crowd, a Kia catch.
Yeah, Laurie Evans came into the party, kind of was in the kitchen for much of it. 25 from 15. Still, he played his hand, but Sunil Narayan really stole the show. I'm glad that our producer has cut that one, because that was one of the shots of the day. That was the Caribbean flair through the offside, and Sunil Narayan came out 24 from 5. He was, Neil, 24 from 5, and he made his 50 in 22 deliveries.
Went from 6th gear to 4th gear and was still flying along at 200 kilometres an hour. That was truly magnificent. That for me is as good as any shot. I can't say what was the shot of the first innings, because there were many good, but no better than that.
And this was Sunil Narayan's 50 brought up with his 4th maximum, allied to 5 fours. So yeah, 52 for Sunil Narayan from 23, 64 from 36, Will Jacks, 69 from 38 for Sam Curran.
You won yourself a Surrey cap, and I think you've won yourself a signed shirt too. And guys, thank you so much for taking part. Have you had a good time?
Yes.
Have you got a word for the fans, Martha?
We're gonna win. We're gonna win.
You have one, sir. You have one, sir. Oh. Have you got a word for Surrey then, sir?
Yeah, we're going to absolutely smash them.
We're going to smash them, are we, everyone? Lovely stuff, well done. Good work, top work. Guys, you got 2 balls, that's very good. You got 3 balls.
This is what it's all about, right? This is what it's all about. Kids like that having fun, making catches at the Kia Oval, having watched 228 runs put on the board by their Surrey team. What an impressive total it is. I mean, based on what's happened so far with Hampshire, yeah, you wonder about what kind of a run chase they're going to be able to put together. But either way, this crowd is really enjoying it. And it's exciting as well to see on a day like today, when there is a test match going on, it's the bank holiday weekend, you think, what are people up to? Are they watching the coverage from the Surrey cricket ground? The answer is they certainly are. So thank you so much for joining us from all over the world as we bring you these scenes from the Kia Oval. It is such a delight to see so many people out there enjoying T20 cricket, enjoying this Vitality Blast, and just enjoying the sights that are here to see at the Kia Oval. We're going to get to the second innings in a moment or two, but right now we're just enjoying the sights and sounds and smells as well, because of course the other thing that's on offer here is delicious hospitality. I'm talking about the food and drink out there, and I think one of the questions that Neil was asking earlier was, would anyone make the Kia catch? Would anyone take home that grand, or would they be too busy enjoying the hospitality to be able to make the kind of catches that are required off a 6, like the ones we've seen here tonight? Well, the answer is I count it. Look, this is not what's the word? Don't take me to court on this one. I'm not the arbiter of exactly who gets the grand for having made the Kia catch. But from what I saw at least 2, I think, 2 people making those catches tonight. And after we talked about the kind of technique that is required, and then we saw the beauty of what was produced by the kids out there with Ashley doing the Kia high catch as well. I think there's something in the air tonight. So, hey, I don't know if Hampshire are going to be able to get any joy out of imagining that they will be able to make those kinds of catches out at the Kia Oval. Well, we'll have to take a look. So great to see so many kids in the house today, as well, as you will have just seen on your screens. That sweet little girl in her Surrey kit, bless her, and having taken advantage of the face painting as well. We're going to get some for Neil and Phil as well shortly. I don't know if they know, but I'm sure they will enjoy a bit of face painting as well. Up in the commentary booth, our commentators.
Thank you very much. Much indeed, Kate. I'm trying to give up the face painting these days, but I do remember the very, very happy days when my 2 daughters were a bit younger and enjoyed nothing more. In fact, for several years, that's all they wanted for their birthdays was somebody to come along and paint their and their friends' faces. Well, how about, at least in many ways, Chevy Green, you know, so if Hampshire walked out there needing 180, it'd be all strategy and tactics and planning and targets and what we want in the power play, but they need 229, so...
You just got to go from ball 1, really. You've got to back yourselves and be confident, and hopefully you get off to a good start in the power play, but it's going to be hard. You know, Surrey's got a bowling depth of nearly everyone in the lineup can bowl, and nearly to an international standard, so it's going to be an uphill task, but we'll see if Hampshire can take advantage of the short boundary, particularly on one side, like Surrey did.
Chris Jordan is just positioning his troops, his fielders, and you would think that they, not you would think, you know that they've walked out there knowing exactly what the plan is, but he's just making sure that everybody is in exactly the right position, in the same position that they need to be in. All his best fielders are in the busiest positions.
They are, and Surrey's got a lot on the board to defend, but you can't be complacent. You know, you still got to do the simple things well and bowl in the right areas.
They've got one of the best net run rates anyway after just 2 games, but look after it.
You have to look after it.
Right, it's first over from Reece Topley, and well, the 2 Hampshire openers have got a heck of a task on their hands. But as I said, Nick Gubbins has nothing to lose in many ways. That's it, he's had his sighter. Can go now. He's played himself in, he's had a ball. And Topley to Gubbins once again. Oh, chipped up into the air,
fantastic
Jordan!
catch by Curran Pollard.
Sorry, Curran Pollard, I beg your pardon.
Catch.
It's got the old Usain Bolt arrow out as well. That is a fabulous catch.
Who knew the big man could move that quick? Dive into his left.
He didn't have to move that quickly because he's so long. He just needed to dive. Actually, he did. That is a brilliant dive. Left-handed as well. That's a fantastic grab from Curran Pollard.
Oh, celebration time. Hey.
Well, a wicket third ball, and
it's not the start Hampshire would have wanted.
Well, unless Tom Prest walks out there and makes 80 off 40 balls, then they might think that was a decent thing to do for Nick Gubbins to get out third ball.
Losing the wicket in the first over did all right for Surrey. I don't know if it's have the same optimism as it for Hampshire. Reece Topley's had a fantastic start to the season in the T20 Blast, and he's done particularly well. And another great start, getting an early wicket here. Very experienced T20 player.
Second ball of the innings. Here's Reece Topley. Oh, sorry, I've got a slip in. Pushed away, tucked away off the hip for a single. Yeah, and why not? Get a slip in, it's fine, you can always take him out.
Exactly.
If he's not there and a catch goes there, it's too late, but you can always take him out if you think that he's served his time. Until a few boundaries start coming, if and when they start coming, then attack, look for wickets. Go for the really convincing victory.
And rightly so. You know, like I said, you've got the runs on the board. You know, play that, like you said, attacking cricket. Have players in, have the slip in, see what pressure the bowlers can create, and it gets the batters thinking as well. They're still thinking we've still got an uphill task to get the runs, and in the power play, if you can't take advantage of it. That's a fantastic ball from Reece Topley.
Pace then bounce as well.
It really carried through to Jamie Smith.
It's a reminder, Surrey 228 for 4. Well, he's understandably trying to take advantage of the shortest boundary on the ground, which is at fine leg.
I think that went straight into the dugouts if he connected with that one.
Yeah, just the top edge. Any connection.
Yeah, flying off.
Very, very fine over from Reece Topley.
2 for 1.
Exactly. That's
Sam Curran opening up as well.
One of the most economical overs of the night so far. Nobody's no team in the history of the T20 Blast has chased 228 for victory. So it would be a new domestic T20 record. Sam Curran from the Mickey Stewart Pavilion end. Records are there to be broken and set.
I'll be surprised if that record gets broken today.
Yeah. So would I.
The strength of Surrey's bowling attack, I'd be shocked if they conceded that many runs.
Oh yes, that's 6. That is very, very clever piece of cricket from Ben McDermott. Ordinarily, you're on the charge to a pace bowler, you're looking to hit him basically back straight over his head, but he's opened the face of the bat and he's played the slice drive. Top quality cricket shot that from Ben McDermott. Another £1,000 is in and out.
Fantastic effort in the crowd though, diving into the stands.
Just loving that shot from Ben McDermott.
Yeah, at first I thought that was a big thick edge, but I think you're right, Neil. You could see how he shaped his wrists at the end of that on the replay.
Quite a slippery one, that from Sam Curran. A little bit of pace on it. Doesn't mind Ben McDermott taking on the hook of the pull shot to that very deep leg side boundary. And that's what he was looking to do, bowl it, get it in at rib cage, chest height. Make sure he certainly couldn't drive it. Didn't mind him hooking as a man out at deep backward square. Oh dear! Oh, that's just slipped out the fingers.
No ball. Oh. Looks more like a wide, to be fair.
Have a look at the replay and tell us if he was trying to do something sexy with this delivery, or did it just...
I think it's gone horribly wrong. I think he's definitely tried to do...
He wasn't trying to bowl a knuckleball or something.
I couldn't quite see the grip, but he definitely tried something. It almost looked like he just floated it out. I think Chris Jordan with some words there. Don't try that one again.
Or what were you doing, Sammy?
Oh,
that's a very good take.
Yeah, just had to calm down there. You know, free hit.
Jamie Smith leaping up to his.
That was taking that outrageous catch.
It was, wasn't it? McDermott just trying to ramp it. I thought he had actually got a touch on it.
That is quite common, though, isn't it, these days? Ball after the free hit is a dot ball.
Top edge. And that's going to be far too good for Jason Roy down on the fine leg boundary. Sorry, it's not Jason Roy, is it? It's Sunil Narayan.
Prest is just repaying the favour that he was getting some treatment from Sam earlier.
Yeah, as I said a moment ago, and as you said, Chevy, don't be complacent. You've got 228 on the board, but don't take anything for granted, and still defend as if you were defending 160.
Yeah, you have to. You have to. And you know, it's a big over. Big overs happen in T20 cricket. I'm sure someone of Sam's quality won't be phased too much about that. He's not going to be happy about it, but I'm sure he'll be able to come back later in the innings and tighten it up again. These things happen when you're chasing a big score. You expect the batters to go after the bowlers, and there's no surprise that after 2 overs we're 18 for 1. Similar start to what Surrey's start of innings was like as well.
Oh, this is unusual. A bowler bowling 2 overs in a row from one end. Reece Topley bowled such a good first over, 1 for 2, that if there were any thoughts of giving him just 1 up front, then you have to revise your thinking. You have to be flexible. It's a strange mixture, T20 cricket, of flexible and imaginative thinking and thinking on your feet and thinking quickly, and formulas.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of a formulaic approach as well these days, based on research and matchups and science and numbers and statistics. But you've got to be able to rethink. Sure, that's hit very hard. That's gone flat 6.
It's absolutely got hold of that. It's just flew.
Who's that out of deep square leg? He's probably thinking, I'm glad I couldn't get there.
It's Jacks, it's Will Jacks. There's Will Jacks out there.
You wouldn't necessarily fancy getting your hands on that one,
No,
would you?
it'd definitely be a stinger.
Oh. And there's always a chance he could just hit you on the fingertips. No, very fine shot from Ben McDermott. That's a huge blow. I think he's set himself up for that. Has he hit that out of the Keir Oval?
That's gone on to Kennington Road.
It has, isn't it? I was heading towards the Archbishop Tennyson School. But that's a classic example to me of a batter. We were talking earlier about bowlers taking calculated risks and bowling a delivery based on what they're pretty certain the batsman's going to do. McDermott was set for that. He was absolutely set for that. He just somehow knew it was going to be back of a length.
He was right in his arc, and he's just leant back on that and hands straight through it. It's gone miles.
And he has actually hit it out of the Keir Oval, hasn't he?
He has.
It is. It's on the Kennington Road.
I feel sorry for someone's car driving by. There's a traffic light literally just behind that big screen as well. Bus stop right there as well.
somebody tootling along doing 20 miles an hour and suddenly boom.
Wonder what Surrey's insurance plan is like.
Steered away down towards wide third man. That's a very interesting question. I'd suddenly like to know what the answer is. If you're driving past a Kia Oval and a cricket ball comes flying out and lands on your roof and dents your car,
you need a claim somewhere. You need to be knocking on the door. Big gates. There's a few big gates I'll be rattling if that was me.
Yeah, exactly. There must be a public liability insurance. Of course there is.
There is.
Of course
There is public liability insurance.
Well, short fine leg, short third. That is chipped away. Well, I'd say chipped. He's hit it much better than a chip shot. That's more of a 4-iron over the extra cover boundary. That's a lovely shot. You know what?
Hampshire going really well.
Both of us said, oh, in fact, Phil, all three of us said, maybe it's time for Ben McDermott to come good. He's a very fine cricketer. Son of Craig McDermott, by the way, for those of you who are wondering. If you remember,
bad cricketer.
Great Australian fast bowler.
He wasn't bad.
Ben has a brother as well who follows in his father's footsteps. He's also a fast bowler, but Ben followed his own route into the world of wicket keeping and opening the batting. And boundary hit. Very, very fine hit. So Reece Topley, whose first over went for 2 and earned him a wicket, has gone for 22 in his second over.
Wish it came off.
Here at Ben McDermott's 2 sixes. That's the flatty over square leg, and this is just a sumptuous shot. But again, it's premeditated. I'm saying he has set himself to hit that ball over mid-wicket, and anything but, you know, really good Yorker or a wide Yorker outside off stump, he's playing that shot.
That's the gamble. It is a lot of that in T20 cricket, premeditation. You know, you chance yourself. You've got your areas that you want to hit, and you're guessing, are they going to bowl a change up? Is it going to be back a length, full length? You play those games. You know, like you said earlier, there's a lot of analysis on the bowlers, what they tend to like to do on particular balls. So you've got that chance. Just there we go. Another fine example of that premeditation.
Yeah, Dan Worrell into the attack and immediately dispatched for 6. Well,
Beautiful
good on
ramp.
Hampshire. There's a long, long way to go, but you know they've.
It's that premeditation we're talking about.
Beautifully executed, though, isn't it? I mean, it's just fabulously played. Yeah, premeditation, exactly. Sunil Narayan at short fine leg. He could have been an orthodox fine leg and still would have gone 10 metres over his head.
Used the pace of the ball beautifully there.
Set himself up for the ramp very, very early, didn't he? But there isn't a great deal you can do as a bowler. I mean, I reckon he was 2 steps away from his gather there, Dan Worrell, when McDermott set himself for the ramp. But what do you do other than like pull out of the delivery?
Yeah.
Or you go short, I suppose.
If you see it early
then he can
enough, you
still
could
stand
bump
up.
it a bit, but then you just got to try and catch him in that awkward position.
Here's Dan Worrell again down the wicket, and that's a wild swing, and he's trying to hit that too hard. That wasn't his best. Ben McDermott there. You know when a batsman swings so hard he's off balance that it's a shot of desperation. Unless I'm not giving Worrell enough credit for a. Did he take the pace off that? No, I don't think he did.
I don't think he did.
No. But it's just you still need to maintain your shape, your balance.
Yeah, it's crucial. You know, we say a lot, base, balance, and control when you're batting.
Another one. This is good stuff, this, from Ben McDermott. It may be brief, it may be short-lived, it may not be. But for now, he's saying, whatever you can do, Surrey, I can do too.
Definitely take it to them, taking it on. And I think like we just said there, you know, that's my other word for BBC, base, balance and control. And as long as you've got those 3 elements of your batting, you can't go wrong, and he's executed that well. And people say that's an unorthodox shot, and you know, the premeditated, but he's in the perfect position to play that.
Never heard that before. I can see why you're a level 3 coach. BBC, base, balance, base and control.
Base, balance, control. Can't go wrong with that.
I like that a lot. There's Dan Worrell in. Oh, lovely drive towards mid-off, wide of mid-off, beats Jason Roy. And down to the boundary for 4 more. He's got the gallop on here, Ben McDermott.
Yeah, he's got that pass, Chris Jordan at mid-off, and if anyone was who'd have a great attempt at stopping it, it would be CJ, but as you can see, scampers, but he can't get there.
Very clean hitting and intelligent ramping from Ben McDermott. 29 off 10 balls, 2 4s and 3 6s.
Great finish.
Nice comeback from Dan Worrell. But the 50's up for Hampshire. 4 overs gone, 54 for 1. And Reece Topley said first over went for 2, second over for 22, 1 for 24 in his 2 overs. Sam Curran's 1 over went for 16, and Hampshire, who will have to produce a record run chase in the blast, off to a good start. But they're none from 3. As Phil said in the build-up, they have to win tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a must-win.
And maybe that with the batting, McDermott and Priest have had that freedom to think we've got nothing much more to lose. You know, we need to win. We've got a big score. We've got the license to go for it, which makes it an interesting chase. And now we see Sam Curran change events coming back here on the JM Finstone.
Wide. It's not necessarily a bowling error, that. It is entirely conceivable that Curran has just bowled, you know, what's the worst that can go wrong? If it's a wide, I'll have to bowl it again and it only costs 1. But he's thinking, perhaps, that because of the short leg side boundary, the batter's going to preempt my delivery, step outside the off stump and try and go for the short boundary. Like that!
Clean.
And he's bowled him. That's exactly what he tried to do.
Yes.
Curran's gone full and straight. He's bowled him round his legs.
You might watch a bit of cricket before then, do you know? He almost caught that. But it goes back to what you were saying before about the guessing, you know. He's pushed the first one wide, thinking he's going to follow it. This one, he holds the line, and he moves across. Sort of a bit of chest there, and you know, Sam's beautifully bowled it, and leg stump goes flying.
So Sam Curran may have guessed wrong first ball, but he guessed right second ball. It's educated guesswork. There's a massive difference between random guessing and guessing on the basis of analysis and experience. And Sam Curran, well, he knew exactly what he was doing there. We did say right from the start, half an hour before the start and the build-up, we said that the game and its tactics would be dictated by the defence of the short boundary on one side. And yeah, sometimes it does mean that you're hit for 6s that you don't deserve to be, but other times when batters are trying to take advantage of the short boundary, it also earns you wickets. 55 for 2. Target, a record 229 for victory, or what would be a record. Big appeal. Oh, it may have pitched outside leg stump, Sam.
Massive appeal. No ball tracking here.
What do you reckon? It's where it's pitched. Oh,
I think it might have pitched in line.
It did. I reckon it did.
Sure it did pitch in line,
actually, the question is whether it was missing off then, isn't it? Yeah, you're right. You're right. I reckon that's pitched leg stump easy, comfortable. Maybe even middle of the leg. Cracking stuff from Ben McDermott and Tom Prest. After the early loss of Nick Gubbins, went second ball, caught by a flying Kieran Pollard, one-handed at short cover.
Interesting to see what you said about Whiteley earlier. He said he had the strike rate previous to 170. So,
well, that was a couple of years ago. I mean, he's been a bit quiet since. I think, you know, people know where to bowl to him, but he's. I think he should have been picked up by a lot more domestic T20 leagues franchises around the world. Out, caught. Reece Topley takes the catch.
Fantastic over for Sam Curran to come back with 2 wickets. Similar to that Mason Crane in the first innings, where there's a pressure was on and he comes and takes 2 wickets to 2 set batters, and Sam's come and beautifully done that as well.
I'm sure that Sam Curran did something very funky with that delivery. I don't know what it is. I'm not well trained enough to spot what induced that error, but it was a batting error, and I think it was an induced error. I don't think it was a false. I don't think it was simply an unforced error, as they say in tennis.
Yeah, no, I think it looked like particularly like a slower ball, and it came out, and McDermott was quite early on it and just ended up just chipping it to Reece Topley, who, for a big guy, got down a bit awkwardly, but he held the catch.
Untitled Donald's been used as an opener in the tournament so far, but it hasn't worked for him at all. I'm not sure he's got double figures, actually. I think he was out 2nd ball and 7th ball in the last couple of games for Hampshire, so they've decided to
see how number 5 does for him.
Yes, that's right. Exactly. A couple of years ago, before he had serious injuries, Untitled Donald was a massive talent. Remember he made that huge double 100 as a... Was he still a teenager, Phil? He was, wasn't he? 150 ball double 100. Wow. He was like 19 years old. That was a while ago. Phil will tell us more about that. It was an explosive start to his career. Up into the air. Could this be wicket number 4? Yes, it is.
Number 5 isn't doing too well for him either. So Sam Curran, beautiful over, 3 wickets so far.
Well, Sam Curran's changed the match.
He has.
In 1 over.
Man in the match performance already.
and that is after he made 69 from 38 balls.
I don't think there was any doubt when you saw Chris Jordan underneath that to catch that. Buckets for hands. Fantastic over.
And the thing is, it's 3 wickets that you get the strong feeling have been thought out, planned, the execution. You know, it's not like they've all been caught deep mid-wicket.
No. I don't think anyone could get caught deep mid-wicket from this end.
That's true. That's right. Unless it really is off the toe end of the bat. It's a very short leg side boundary, but the over comes to an end. 5 overs gone, and suddenly Hampshire's bright, breezy, entertaining and intensive start has come to a shuddering halt. They've lost 3 wickets in the 5th over. They're 56 for 4, needing what would be a record 229 to win.
Phil Walker.
Evening, Neil Manthorpe. High-end performance by your good self. I thought the way that you called that wicket, Tom Prest getting inside the line and sweeping us, missing a straight sweep to get cleaned up, that was a touch of class on your part, I have to say. 56 for 4. It would take, well, a sporting miracle from here on in, you feel. Surrey, Chevy, and we'll come to this after this delivery, but Surrey are looking like one hell of a cricket team at the moment. It's nicely played out to mid-wicket, and that will just limp over the boundary. So Weatherly's away with his first boundary, but yeah, take it away, really. And you're seeing it in 4-day cricket as well as in 1-day cricket, or in T20 cricket. You're seeing a side that knows its own game. There's a coherency to the way they're going about their cricket. They're playing solid cricket, There's a clarity of thought, and there's a bit of swagger there as well.
No,
right?
it's exciting to see, Phil, and you know, a lot of the Surrey fans and members will be happy this season. You know, the Red Bull start has been impressive, and to continue that form now into the T20s is huge. And I think the momentum that has been generated so far this season around the club, there's a bit of a buzz now.
Make that 5. Joe Weatherly looks like maybe off the splice. It's a strange-looking shot, really, because he got in position to sweep that one through the onside, and instead it just rather looped.
But you're talking about plans. I think at the start of this over, you saw Chris Jordan. He had Will Jacks further out, and he was telling him to hurry up and get back in. And you know, the first one he had on the drive. The second ball went for 4, and this one is now being caught.
Yeah, peculiar dismissal. But Hampshire are sinking and sinking fast here. They had to have a dash, didn't they?
They have to. You have to go for it. You're chasing 2:28 to win. You have to go for it from ball off. And Preston and McDermott were flying. But what happens with that is when players have got to go for, teams have got to go for it, creates opportunity. You know, so there's going to be chances, and it's whether you can hold on to the catches. And so far, Surrey have done that particularly well, and it all adds to what I just said there. The start of the season has been a great buzz. There's a real buzz around the stadium, around the ground. You know, everyone's excited to see what can happen in the strength of the squad, you know, and particularly losing potentially some high-class players, and you've got balanced that off, and it's impressive. It's very impressive. We talked about the strength of batting that Surrey have, the strength of bowling that they have in abundance is huge, and it's been a great start to the season, considering, you know, you had a new coaching team that came in late, and everything seems to be gelling really well.
Sam Curran with 3 wickets and 60-odd, far and away the player of the match up to now. 60 for 5. It's looking pretty grim for the Hampshire lads at this point. Ross Whiteley is their last recognised hitter. He's in at 7. Big, strong southpaw. He'll be eyeing up that short boundary because he literally has no other option. It's a hard night for these Hampshire boys, and they are staring down a record that says played 4, lost 4 at this juncture.
Confidence is going to be really low.
Just going back to Surrey though this year, Chevy, as I say, you work here, you've seen a lot of stuff here. You'd have been following them on the streams as well, around the grounds when they've gone away in 4-day cricket. There's a number of things that have jumped out at me. Just wanted to run it by you as well. One of which is Jamie Overton.
Yes.
Jamie Overton came into the side last, well, he was signed from Somerset last year. He had his trouble, didn't he, with injury. He didn't quite look at the races due to those injuries last summer. He's worked with Azam Mahmood, who's come in to burnish the coaching setup. Obviously, he's a legend of the club, Azam Mahmood. He's worked with him, especially on his run-up, apparently. Made the run-up more, injected a little bit more intensity into that run-up, and it's bearing fruit. He's bowled some seriously quick spells, and anyone who watches 4-day cricket, you know that you need that kind of edge in your bowling attack.
Yeah,
you're going to
you need a bit of X factor,
especially at the Oval, where it's tough to take 20 wickets, right? So he really has changed the complexion of their attack. And another one is Reece Topley.
Yeah, because someone like Reece Topley, you know, has got a bit of a stigma. There's only a white ball player, and
well, more than that.
And he's coming. All the bowlers, I think, that's been the main. I think the main thing that the start of the season has shown, that the bowling attack has ran through teams. You know, and even Dan Roll came in and he's hit the ground straight away running, and you know, the support in bowling, the bowling unit is huge. And here, as you spoke about him, here he comes on, big Jamie Overton. Interesting to see if he can get amongst the numbers too.
Yeah, bang on cue. Jamie Overton is having a sparkling summer. He's really making a name for himself here in South London. Of course, he came up from Somerset as the maybe lesser heralded of the Overton twins, but probably the quicker through the air. When they were younger, he certainly had a reputation for being extremely fast. Lost his way, but he's certainly got his mojo back now for Surrey. As I say, he's bowled some very fast spells, and I read as well that there was a handful of counties that trialled the speed gun during county championship games, one of which was Surrey, and he was clocking 90.
Yeah, I was going to say he clocked the 90 plus.
Now, I spoke to Azam Mahmood about him, and he says he's not ready for the conversation regarding England yet. He's not quite consistent enough yet with his four-day bowling. But if you're talking about pace through the air, and you see it again there.
Maybe Surrey, maybe Azza's calling that bluff, because if you do particularly well at Surrey, you tend to get a call-up. Just wants to hold on to him for a little bit longer.
That is true. Of course, 2 Surrey players in the England Test side as we speak, Ben Folkes and Ollie Pope, and 3 as well from this side will be joining up with the ODI side when they head out to the Netherlands in a couple of weeks' time. So, yeah, it's good times round here at the moment. And he's bowling sharp already here, Jamie Overton. Poor old Jamie Fuller. He's struggled a wee bit with the ball, and he's not really got his rhythm at all yet with the bat. It's hard yakka for Hampshire.
Overton's hitting the deck hard, back of the length, great pace, you know, and to be fair, he's just missed the edge on a few of them as well.
Always tell how quick someone's bowled by how fine third man is, look how fine he is there. Basically backstop.
Ooh.
Had to be careful there, the non-striker, Ross Whiteley. Bit of a mystery, really, looking at this Hampshire side. Obviously, they're missing James Vince, which is a huge loss. But they've been excellent in four-day cricket, and you would have thought
they would be able to carry that through.
Yeah.
Similar to how Surrey have.
Yeah, indeed. What's been so impressive with Surrey is that they've managed to fight on both fronts so far this year.
And I think it just adds to the experience Surrey have been able to bring in for the white ball side, you know, with Chris Jordan coming in with all his experience, and then you add the 2 internationals, Pollard and Narayan, and then you've got Laurie Evans, as we mentioned, has been phenomenal on the white ball circuit around the world. That all pays help, that experience, the bowlers, Reece Topley, Sam Curran, there's just such a depth of world-class players, and even the Red Bull team, they've got a depth of world-class players there too, and I think they've finally, found the balance that they might not be able to have over the last few years, where they've been stronger in one side format than they have in the other, and I think they've found that good balance now for both.
Shot, beautifully played through the offside by Ross Whiteley. He was there to hit. He's driven that with real class and intent through the offside. Yeah, going back to Surrey's recent record, they've been asleep a little bit at the wheel, haven't they? It's probably fair to say, considering the quality and depth of their squad. They'll probably, you know, say themselves it's not quite worked for them the last 2 or 3 years since that championship win under Rory Burns, of course, 3 or 4 years back. Since then, they've been slightly indifferent, certainly in four-day cricket. But you look at this squad now, and there aren't too many holes in it, really.
No, there isn't. And I think one of the key things there you said is Rory Burns and Rory Burns' leadership of the team and how much influence he has amongst that, especially in the Red Bull game. You've seen him starting the season. You know, unfortunate not to be picked by England, but being in and back around the squad is one of the true best captains there is in the Red Bull game in this country. So that has definitely paid a difference. Good to see the Spin King is on now as well.
Here he comes, Son of Narayan. He's been already charmed the birds from the trees, and he comes in and he does his thing. Try and explain to the viewers, Chevy Green, over the course of this over, exactly what Son of Narayan is doing with a cricket ball.
It's going to go left, it's going to go right. It's just pure finger spin here, and
can you coach it?
No, I don't think you can. And the only reason why I say that is because there would be more like him. I think what will happen is, as kids, you know, as they do, they like to copy and emulate. They'll see their heroes, and there'll be kids that will copy him and will try it. And for some of the kids it will come off, and for others it won't. But to coach it will be very, very difficult. I think, particularly coaching in this country as well, there is can be a trouble at times that we want to follow the manual as such and not let players be as free as there is. Coaching is moving to allowing players to be who they are, and if it does look a bit different, me personally, I'm very big on the outcome. You know, what does the outcome look like? Are you consistently bowling and batting in the right areas, regardless of what that looks like, if it's not going to cause injury?
Make that 6. He's picked out long on. Wondered if it was going to carry, but it was, in the end, a rather limp kind of spoon shot, really, to long on.
It was a bit of a nothing shot.
Nothing shot, a rather tame end to what's been an increasingly forlorn reply now, really, by Hampshire. 67 for 6.
And that's the thing with Narayan, it skids on a bit as well. It can get you there a bit quicker. There's that Jason Roy down there.
Yeah, Jason Roy, good hands. Yeah, so Son and Orion, not much in the way of lateral movement. He's not a big turner of the ball.
No.
And it's the
right areas.
Sleight of hand, right? And he hides it behind his body as well. If you're watching, then you just see the way that, as a batter, you don't know what's coming.
You don't.
Deliberately conceals the wrist and the fingers. Sometimes he'll pop it out the side of the hand. Sometimes he'll run it off the middle finger.
And sometimes it's good luck being the keeper, you know?
Yeah.
Try and pick it as well.
Indeed. He's a real artist, his Son and Orion. And as I said earlier, one hell of an acquisition, really, for Surrey.
Massive. It's similar to when they signed that Imran Tahir.
Yeah.
That kind of top spinner.
Won't get that a wee bit high, I think.
Doesn't help when the keeper doesn't go up either. You got to try and sell that as a team.
It wasn't too far away, but above the knee roll, probably just going over. You know, you're a good cricketer, Chevy. How do you attack a bowler like this?
You know, there'll be elements of in the batter's head that they're just going to go for it to attack. They'll just take him on, and there'll be others that will try and pick in. Should I just nudge and nurdle? Should I use the depth of my crease to go back and try and create a bit more time for myself?
He always holds it back, though, Son and Orion.
Yeah.
Beautiful over. Picks up his first, and it's 69 for 6 after 8.
So you can't. He needs to spink it.
I'm here with Ebony. Ebony, you having a good time?
Yeah, me and my friends have had a great time. We're also watching Laurie Evans, one of my favourite cricketers, on the pitch do his thing.
Yeah, he came over to say hello to you. You've got a really good relationship with these guys, haven't you?
Yeah, look, I've known a lot of these players since a young age, and I'm just so proud of them. Played with some of them as well as a youngster, so yeah, support them. I think Surrey are going to win.
Surrey are going to win, guys. Ebony says.
There you have it, Chevy. You heard it here, maybe last. Surrey are going to win this one, it feels. Oh, that's one hell of a hit. In fairness, James Fuller, he's not quite finished yet. And the poor old umps, I'm glad he's on his toes. Yeah, he manages to signal 4, thank you, just to confirm.
Just got his breath back.
Oh, dear. It does send a chill through you every time.
It does.
Bruce Oxenford. Bruce Oxenford is the umpire, of course. He goes out there with the shield. The Game of Thrones shield he has. And you can't blame him. I don't know why more umpires don't utilise that.
The power that these guys hit the ball at is phenomenal.
But good old Ebony, your boss. Looks like she's enjoying herself down there.
Having a good time. The first lady, you know.
The first lady of English cricket, mate. Yeah.
With her MB, now we have to bow.
Of course.
Curtsy in front of her. No? Her Highness.
Yeah.
This Jubilee weekend could be about her just as much as it could be about the Queen.
Yeah, one of the great heroes of this place is Ebony Rainford Brent. The hardest working people in showbiz.
Oh, for sure. Like, you know, just a true inspiration. Like I think I said the other night as well, trailblazer in what she does.
Absolutely. Well said. Meanwhile, Jamie Overton has put that one right in the slot and he's gone the distance. 2 bounce for Liam Dawson, who is wearing the armband tonight. Drawn the shortest of straws in truth, but he's going to keep on swinging as best he can. They're playing really for or net run rate issues, to be honest, at this point.
Normally you get left the shortest straw, but he kind of picked that by, I think, picking to bowl first.
Yes, there was that, yeah. There's a big gulf between these two teams. I'm not sure how much difference it would have made, really. See up. Oh, and it's just shy.
Unlucky.
Just on the half volley. It's a manful effort by Laurie Evans. Out not long on, but he couldn't quite make it on the full.
He'll be disappointed with himself, but it's a fantastic effort.
Yeah, just couldn't quite get there. Sprawling dive just on the half volley. Oh. Takes me back to this morning at Lord's. I don't know if you saw England in the field. They were pretty useful for a couple of hours.
Bairstow was all right, wasn't he?
Yeah, took some good catches in the slips. Things looked good at lunchtime in the Test match.
Then a bit of food.
Yeah. It's another quick ball by Jamie Overton. You can see the rhythm that he's in.
No, definitely. You can see, look at the follow through. He's almost getting all the way down to the batter, and that's all that momentum that is carried through from his run up right the way through his delivery stride. Lovely long follow through.
Yeah, he's got a really nice smooth action now. He doesn't seem to be over-forcing it either. The development's a bit like Mark Wood in that he's bowling quick, bowling bullets now, but
yeah,
he's not over-forcing it through the crease. There's a fluency and a fluidity to his approach. It's a good spell, this. Back of the length is the way to go, definitely. So 80 for 6. Penny for Hampshire's thoughts. It's been tough.
It's a quiet trip back. Oh, there they are.
So Sun and Orion will resume. 80 for 6. My word, this is hard yakka. Required run rate a mere 13.55. Not much left in the hutch either.
No, and to be fair, at one point they were well ahead, and then Sam Curran's beautiful over just changed the whole proceedings of this game.
It's a gorgeous night to be out here as well. It's just perfect cricket watching weather. It's a good way to start this long weekend.
Yeah, I think there might be a few people from this crowd going down to Vauxhall and Brixton and Clapham after tonight, in good spirits after the Surrey win.
That's the place to be in South London. So you got plans, Chevy, next few days? What's on the agenda for you?
Well, we was meant to have a game for Ace against Surrey Disability. It got called off, so now I'm definitely going to have a few drinks to unwind. It's been so far a busy year with Ace.
Indeed. Well, you're doing great work, truly. I tell you, we were saying earlier, his daughter just plays it into the offside, 82 for 6. Make that 83. He's going to make it, yeah, make it back for a couple. Saying earlier, to get Kyron Pollard in front of your intake at Ace, well, get Sun and Orion as well. Right?
Yeah, definitely. Luckily, after the Glamorgan game, CJ and Sun and Orion came up to the office, and we had a few of the kids, the older scholars in our box, and you know, they got to speak to them, take pictures, you know, and for some of those youngsters that we have on our program, those are real heroes for some of those guys. So yeah, now it'd be, you know, if we can get Pollard in the mix as well as that, of course, just to them to spend some time and hear that experience. Luckily, we've had Rothman Powell and Romario Shepherd from the West Indies with us this week for a long period of the time, as they couldn't get visas.
Superb. Rothman Powell fresh from the IPL, of course.
Yeah, but both of them fresh from the IPL, and as we saw the umpire just take a duck, I was feeding him some balls in a bowling machine yesterday, and had to dodge a few myself.
Yeah, it's a long ball, Rothman Powell. Took England for 100, didn't he, in that T20 game not too long ago.
But what was good about having him just at training yesterday was he was hitting a lot of balls with tennis balls. The speed he had it in the bowling machine was like 68. And one of the kids asked him, he said, "Why haven't you got a 98?" He said, "Why do I need it on 98? You know, I'm practicing, I'm trying to groove my shots. I don't need to be jumping around." So having that wealth of experience that he can bring in to our program will be fantastic.
Yeah, you're doing great work. There is no doubt. Long overdue as well, of course, to try and re-energise cricket in areas where it's been dormant for too long.
Way too long.
Yourself and Ebony and various others fighting the good fight.
Yeah, particularly like parts of South London as well, you know, where it's needed, where the oval is as well.
The skipper's into the attack. And he's going to pick one up straight away. Straight away to deep mid-wicket.
Jason Roy with another catch.
Skipper to skipper, and Liam Dawson goes. It's a clinic here by Surrey from start to finish. They were behind in the game for 2 deliveries.
Slow ball bouncer. Wide.
Yeah, 7 down now.
It almost feels like it's only going to be a matter of time for him.
Indeed. We might make an earlier train, Chev. We might be heading down to Brixton after all. Let's just run through this scorecard. Reece Topley removed Nick Gubbins for a second ball duck. Curran Pollard set the tone with a marvellous left-handed catch from a leading edge at short cover. Ben McDermott and Tom Press played nicely to put on 55 in quick time, 4 overs for that partnership of 55, but they both went in quick succession. Sam Curran went bang bang, got rid of Ben McDermott for 29, caught by Reece Topley, and clean bowled Tom Press just before that with a very canny piece of work called immaculately by my earnest colleague to my left, Mr. Neil Manthorpe. Joe Weatherly 5, Anya Donald 0, Ross Whiteley 4, and just that then Liam Dawson, skipper to skipper, rather handed Chris Jordan another wicket on a plate taken by Jason Roy out at deep mid-wicket. And so it's been a procession, 84 for 7, and Hampshire are playing for, well, pride, I suppose.
You think if Hampshire had a chance, they could tap out? A bit like, you know, in the UFC, you could tap out. Just call it a day now.
Yeah, do everybody a favour. That would be a smart move at this point. It's a good shout. Maybe you should have 1 or 2 of those a year.
I think we could get that across the. I'm going. Luckily, that's about the long weekend. I'm going to Lords on Sunday, so I'll see if I can drop a word in somewhere.
I'm not
something
sure how much
MCC.
cricket you're going to see, Chevy,
on
Sunday.
I'm hoping we get to Sunday.
And of course, you know, we're hoping that it's, you know, it's a proper good game of cricket, but genuinely it could be done by Saturday morning, or even tomorrow night.
Could be, yeah. I think Saturday afternoon could be a good shout.
Chris Jordan showing all the tricks of the trade. He's a master, isn't he? At the back end of an innings.
Unbelievable. And to think his role slightly changed a bit more since he's come to Surrey. I guess he's captain, so he decides when he bowls. But remember, historically he's bowled a lot in the power plays, and he's been able to bowl a lot of Yorkers and keep it up. And now the last few games he's been able to come on and bowl at times where the pressure's a little bit slightly off.
He's got hold of that. That'll go all the way. Oh,
he shelled it.
Shelled in the crowd. Oh, and you can hear the murmur in the crowd. The widespread disappointment. You can feel it. You can feel the pain.
I don't know what block that is in the JM but they have had an absolute nightmare. They have dropped everything that has gone in. They have saved Kia a lot of money.
How does the mercy rule work in baseball? Because once you fall behind by a certain number of runs in baseball, the game's stopped.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't know that.
I wonder, you know, with T20 cricket.
I didn't know that either. Yeah. It's not really my game, baseball.
Called the mercy rule. It's not obviously invoked very often, because I think you have to be like, I need to be corrected here. I think you need to be 12 runs behind.
Right, okay.
And then you just don't go to the 9th inning, or 8, however many.
So I know in American football, when they play at like high school, level. When it gets to a certain point of the score, they just turn the scoreboard off and they let the clock just run.
You see, but you couldn't do that with T20 cricket because games have been won when 20 and over is needed. Not very many.
Ryan again working his magic from the far end to us. James Fuller is doing his best, bunting it hopefully into the onside, but at 94 for 7, it feels a little bit forlorn really for Hampshire. Just thinking of games from the past where you'd invoke the mercy rule here. Innings and 579, I think. England beat Australia, the Len Hutton game here, 1938. I think it was Marcus Hook, the great statistician. He'll be listening to this and saying, no, I'm pretty sure it was an innings at 579. England won that test by. Bradman pulled a hamstring, I think, and so couldn't bat. And England got 903 for 7. I know that for sure, because that's imprinted on my mind. Then Hutton 364. And when Bradman twanged the hamstring or whatever it was, I think you'd probably say, OK, we'll tap out, we'll pull the mercy on that one. There's been a few here.
Who gets to choose the margin of victory, or do you just say won by invocation of the mercy rule? Sorry, you've got a slip in.
Yes, Chris Jordan with a slip.
They look like a well-oiled side here. Have you seen much of Surrey up to now, Neil?
Yes, I have. Thanks to excellent streaming service for the county championship.
Yeah. It's changing the game, by the way. That really is. Overseas, as well as around the country.
I thought you were going to say thanks to the gaffer then.
He's got his own personal speed.
And I have to say that as far as the production of Surrey TV production of the Vitality Blast games is concerned, I've worked on full television productions around the world that aren't as professional and as slick as this one. I mean, there's one thing to have streaming for a 4-day championship game, but I mean, this is top-notch. This production, terrific stuff. And
did you hear that at the back of the box, folks?
and it's not so few games are on live TV. So you know, the counties that can afford to put together a production like this are only doing their membership the world of good.
And who does their membership any better than Surrey?
Well, there's been a quiet revolution around many grounds as well. Obviously, we're doing it well here, and the numbers prove the point, but Lancashire are throwing a lot of heft at their own production, and Somerset are doing very good work, and various other counties as well, and it can only help the game, it can only help enrich the experience for the punters. Not everybody can free up time to come and watch 4-day cricket. Not everyone can free up time to come and watch 20-over cricket through the turnstiles, but we are hopefully bringing the game to life for people out there, and you can of course access it wherever you are in the world.
That's the thing. Cricket has to become innovative and adapt to the new technology.
It has to move with the times. It's not always renowned for doing so, but it's...
He said with gentle understatement.
No, not make.
Probably the first mistake in the field, I would say, by Surrey, who have been immaculate really from start to finish, but Laurie Evans just let that one through. It was well struck. Low full toss.
Yeah, but these are all different things that help cricket become more attractive to young people and being able to access it. We know a lot of people love watching things on YouTube these days.
Bowled him.
Cleaned.
Sam Curran, can he do anything wrong? This is 4 wickets now on the back of 4 for 14 the other day. So that's 8 in 2.
And the back of an impressive 69 earlier.
Sunil Narayan is doing his desperate best to hang on to Curran's coattails in the race for the man of the match. I tell you what, he's still not that far behind, because Narayan, who made a blistering 52 from 23 balls, has now bowled 3 overs and taken 1 for 14. But but Curran top scored.
Yeah, I think it'll be hard to argue with Curran.
And has taken 4 for 22. That's an outrageous performance.
No, if I think you gave it to anyone else but Sam Curran, I think they'll be up.
Stewart's inquiry.
Yeah, he's having the time of his life, is Sam Curran. He's really coming into his absolute prime as a cricketer. He's starting to learn.
And he's so young.
Yeah.
It's fair to say that Surrey have ended Hampshire's blast tonight, haven't they? Because even if they win all their remaining games and finish level on points with qualifiers, this defeat, the nature of it at the moment, is so heavy that it will do irretrievable damage to their net run rate.
Yeah, absolutely that.
He's got to go up for that, but I think that's pitched outside the man.
Chevy Green giving everything by this point. 104 for 8. This is a shellacking, I'm afraid.
Someone needs to have a word with Jamie Smith, though. I think any time it hits the pads and the bowler goes up, you've got to go up with him.
Even if you know it's pitching outside,
you've got to go up. You've got to go up.
He's too honest.
Get the umpire thinking.
He's far too honest. He's a delightful kid to interview. He's one of those cricketers, Jamie Smith, that strikes you. There's a sort of quiet confidence to everything he does. There's no histrionics. There's no fuss. He's not trying to prove anything to anyone in the way that he carries himself. He knows he's good.
No, he's,
you know, and there's a sort of self-control there.
The amount of runs he's scored over the last couple of seasons as well has been huge, huge, and in most formats as well.
This is it. So he made 200s in the back end of last year, opening the batting, came back in at 5 and made a double down at Gloucester. One or two little minor injury problems here and there, but he'll be back into that 4-day side as soon as they are up and running again next month. And he is building a pretty formidable career already, Jamie Smith. I've spoken to some very good judges who are already saying he's an England Test player in the making.
How old is he?
21.
There's a lot of good keepers around, though.
Well, he's a batter-keeper rather than a keeper-batter. And, of course, he has Ben Folkes here. So he'll keep when he can.
I think he's had a few issues with his back as well, and you know, I think definitely want to focus more on the batting side of things. But yeah, it makes it a bit hard when you've got Ben Folkes in front of you, arguably the best keeper in the country.
So, what can be retrieved in this game? Not much for Hampshire.
It does give me an opportunity to ask you why England have chosen 5 left-arm seamers in their ODI squad for the tour of the Netherlands. Are they
something to do with the conditions over there?
Is it really? Is it just? I mean, it's remarkable.
It's a very left-leaning culture out there. I think that's what it is.
That's a good way. That's a nice way to pull it, Phil.
Not even Sri Lanka have picked 5 left-arm seamers in one squad.
I think it's because English cricket has a reputation for a kind of stolid conservatism, you know. Everybody bowls right arm medium fast, you know. This has been a criticism of the Test team for a while, so we've gone searching for as many southpaws as we can find.
You were talking in the first innings about left arm over being a point of difference. Now it's right arm over.
Yeah, this is true. It's certainly become more and more valued, isn't it, in white ball cricket over the last few years. You know, if you do have a really good gun left arm seamer, and Surrey, of course, have 2 very good ones here in Topley and Curran, then if you do have that angle, that becomes ever more useful, I think, in white ball cricket in particular.
Just have a look, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, about what Phil Walker was talking about earlier, about the way Sunil Narine hides the ball behind his right buttock, so that it's impossible to know how he's gripping it. Oh, that's larruped away for 6. That's a really good clean strike. So not quite dead yet, Hampshire. 8 down, but they're going to go down swinging. Yeah. So Narine has different grips for the ball, and believe it or not, if you're not a professional cricketer, you may find it hard to believe, but batsmen, professional batters, are so well trained and attuned to spotting with a seam bowler where the shiny side is, and even if it's just a momentary glimpse, they'll see how a spinner is gripping the ball and they'll know which way he's trying to turn it. But Narain makes it as difficult as possible by running in with the ball out of the batsman's sight and only it's into his delivery stride, because that's when the ball appears, and you've got probably 0.1 of a second to try and pick it.
Yeah, if anything, it drifts away from the right-hander. It kind of goes in the air, just drifts on the seam almost. And every now and then he'll try and tweak it and hold the line and maybe even get a little bit of conventional off-break. But he's a master at what he does.
The batters that I've spoken to that have struggled against, well, everyone struggles against him pretty much. I mean, statistically, he has one bad game in 12.
That's amazing, especially in a competition like the Blast.
Exactly. But the common theme in the batters that I've spoken to, they say, is the change of pace. Yes, he spins it both ways, and he's got like a sort of a Curran ball, and he's got a top spinner, and the Curran ball goes the wrong way, and he's got the off spinner. But the thing that they find most consistently difficult to cope with, and what does them more than the spin, is the change of pace with the total repetition of action. Same arm speed, but considerable changes of pace. And ordinarily, it's easier to pick up the change of pace from the commentary box, actually.
Yeah.
And you know, and especially with replays. But it's so subtle and so difficult to pick up that it's seldom spoken about in the commentary box.
When you have a reputation of his, you almost get to the point of batters saying, well, let's just see him off.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, let's hold
Rashid
back
Khan
a bit. Yeah, exactly.
They go, you know what, if we get 20 off Rashid Khan, fine, happy days. We'll settle for that. He was the only bowler, Rashid Khan, to go for less than a runner and over in the power play in this year's IPL. In the power play.
Oh! Goes away for a maximum. What a catch that would have been by Chris Jordan. And for a moment, you fancied him. I think he just took a step forward and slightly overbalanced. He's still able to get a fingertip or two to it, and only palm it over the bar for a maximum. It was hit hard. What a catch this would have been. Do you know what, Chevy? He will be thinking, yeah, I might have plucked that one out of the air. Fielder as great as Chris Jordan, a truly
slightly overran it. You almost back him to catch everything, but he just slightly overran it just a little bit, coming in from that angle.
Watching him tonight, Chris Jordan, he's got an aura of Owen Morgan about him. You know, he's not the key man in this side. He's not going to do the donkey work. He's not going to necessarily bowl his 4 overs out. But he brings all of this encyclopedia of knowledge.
Yeah.
And he's seen it all. He's been round the world. He's played in every big tournament out there.
And I think the respect is there as well.
Before, but it takes. Yeah, there's as you say, there's an aura to him now, and they're coalescing around him, it feels.
You know, like I said, he came into office the other day after the first game, and you know, his calmness of, let's just stick to our plan. I was like, how was it? So yeah, we just encouraging everyone to stick to the plan. We know what we want to try and do and achieve, and we'll get over the line. And I think he has that, and he's grown up with a few of the players. He knows a lot of the other players through all the different international levels as well. So he's been able to just come in. He had a bit of experience with Pollard as well in there. It helps.
You know that James Fuller at one point was qualified to play for 3 different countries?
I didn't. Which ones?
He was born in Cape Town.
Yep.
He then lived and played in New Zealand and qualified by residence, and he always had a British passport.
Oh.
So he had a pick.
Yeah, he's been a very well-respected cricketer. I think he started at Middlesex here, and I think he might have gone to Northants, but he's a good cricketer, good resourceful cricketer. Bit of a lone hand here tonight.
Yeah.
Not the first Cape Tonian who's had to travel around a bit to fully establish himself as a good cricketer.
It's not surprising he ended up at Hampshire, though, is it?
No, indeed. There's been a few, but it's a moot point, Neil. I guess Look, I'm increasingly fond of South African cricket because the conveyor belt never stops. But it must also be very frustrating as a native of that beautiful place to see these talents come and just slip through your fingers and then re-emerge elsewhere. Or are you just immune to it now? Are you just
totally? Absolutely. The conveyor
waiting
belt,
for the next one.
so the conveyor belt goes from the mine of South African cricketers, and then it goes out of the country, and then they all just drop off the end into the rest of the world.
Yeah, and the rest of the world laps them up. Chris Jordan from the Mickey Stewart Members Pavilion end, just for his second over of the innings. He must be enjoying his time back at the club that made him. Again, you're talking about experience, Chevy. It's a canny move to have brought him back, canny move to have brought Laurie Evans back as well, because it's a connection with the past, it's a connection with the soul of the club.
I think this place is quite infectious, I think once you've been here, you do have a strong feeling for the club.
Thought you were talking about COVID for a second there.
COVID too.
Nobody's wearing a mask.
But yeah, I think CJ and Laurie grew up together, played in the academy together. Jason was part of that. Rory Burns, so there's a good nucleus of a lot of them that have grown up together, and now you've got the younger contingent that came through together, Ryan Patel and Sam Curran, Ollie Pope, Verdi, so there's a good nucleus there, and you put the experienced heads with it, it's going to be fruitful.
Bold, beautifully done.
Such a good point, Chevy, and somebody said, I was joking when Phil and I were doing the build-up to today's game, and I referred to Surrey as the Galacticos of they've got the checkbook and they sign all the big names. But I was explaining, as was explained to me by my great friend Gareth Batty, actually, yes, they do make big signings, but they have a bigger core of locally produced players than almost any other county.
Yeah.
Up in the air. It'll be a good catch. I think it's Will Jacks coming round from extra cover, and he got there. He'd be slightly disappointed with himself. He'd be a bit cranky that he didn't make that. Would have been a fine catch. He might be doing him a disservice.
Is that Gus Atkinson, I think?
I think it is the sub.
The sub, yeah.
Good shout, Chevy. It's Gus Atkinson on as the sub fielder, and he did the hard yards. He got there. Just spilled it at the last. Crowd have stayed with it tonight as well. 20,000 were in.
No work tomorrow. For most. Look at that, Jordan Clark on the bench. He's had a good start to the season as well.
He has. He's been absolutely essential to their four-day campaign, Jordan Clark. Another one, canny signing. He's come in and he fits the club. So roll it on to tomorrow night, Chevy, and Surrey go down to Kent for a big one, really.
Yeah.
Because if they can go 4-0, then it puts them in a very, very strong position. There'd have to be quite a tricky collapse from here on in, wouldn't it?
Top left-hand corner of your screen there, Gareth Batty, I just referred to. Doesn't he just look absolutely made up with tonight's performance? He just can barely contain his enthusiasm. He's falling over himself with satisfaction. Look, isn't he? Just well done, coach.
Look at that.
Cheer up, Bats.
Oh. He's got his notebook as well. He's been thumbing through his notebook.
I think he got down that Jock catch down.
Well, he's always one step ahead. He's thinking of the next game.
Yeah, it is a big one down at St Lawrence tomorrow evening. If Surrey, as I say, can go 4-0, then Yeah, it puts them in a very good position to qualify for the quarterfinals.
And they've got every reason to be confident. The way they've started is 3.
Meanwhile, Sam Curran, can he find a 5th wicket here and complete a perfect night for him personally, really? He looks sharp, doesn't he, as well? He looks fit, he looks sharp, he looks at ease in his body now. I tell you what,
I think that is
he's given it. He's given it, and he's on his knees.
That was plump.
5 wickets for Sam Curran.
69 from 38 balls, 5 4s and 5 6s. Sam Curran batting at number 3, and only runs in and takes a 5.
We call this a star boy performance, you know. 55 wickets.
The first 5-wicket haul in Sam Curran's T20 domestic career as well. He's really starting to make his mark on this year's competition.
Definitely one of the star boys of the team.
Now that the sun has set and the floodlights are really kicking in, this is one of the most extraordinarily beautiful day-night venues. That is the Mickey Stewart Members Pavilion, and it is, I mean, it's a beautiful building, and it's a wonderful sight at any time of day or night. But at night, well, need I say any more? Just look at that.
Yeah, it's quite a ground as well. This might be the first time that you've seen the new stand as well, Neil, as the Galadari's gone up.
The Galadari stand, yeah. I love it. I want to go to what looks to me to be a particularly enticing open-air.
That is a Sylvester Clock bar. So, you know, if you know Sylvester Clock's reputation, there's definitely a few drinks up there.
You've got to drink your drinks quickly,
yeah,
have you?
Yeah. Oh, it's all happening. Get a great view of London up there in the Galadari stand as well.
I mean, it's just, it's fabulous. That's it, right? That's
there
the
is. That's the
Sylvester
Sylvester
Clock
Clock
on
bar.
top of the Galadari stand.
As you can see, plenty of drinks happening.
But may I just say, in an exceptionally civilised manner.
Oh, of course.
Of course, this is South London, sir.
No, I mean it. You know that I've heard a very, very great deal about the civility and the encouragement of the family atmosphere, and you know, kids for a quid. I think it's just the most fantastic. It's been a real privilege to come to my first Blast match at the Oval, having been flatly refused a ticket by the gaffer 2 years ago.
And to be fair, the kids come in for a quid and they leave with a lot more, because a lot of the kids by the end of the day will be collecting those Surrey glasses, handing them in.
Well, that's the whole
some big pocket money.
Sustainability and recycling thing, also, which is a really massive part of the Oval. How much do you get for a plastic glass?
£1. So when you hand it back in, £1 per cup. So a lot of the kids will be running around here.
Can I leave early? Can I go see if I can find myself some plastic cups?
Get in the stands, Neil.
With your boyish looks, Neil, you'll be fine. You'll pass. Sam Curran threw his head back at that delivery. He's desperate for a 6. You can sense it. He's got how many? 1, 2 to go. 2 to go in his spell. He's absolutely desperate for this to complete the perfect cricket match for himself personally.
And you're right, Neil, sustainability is one of the key things that Surrey are trying to do here. They've newly appointed someone as the head of sustainability. There's not many of those.
Yeah, it's a club that knows its own business. It knows the way to go about it. It's a very progressive and forward-thinking club. And it's starting to really show on the pitch as well after, as we said, maybe a quiet couple of years. It's bubbling away very nicely under a new coaching setup here. So we roll on. 3 overs to go. 140 for 9. penny for Liam Dawson's thoughts, taking it back to the toss. Such is the golfing class between the two sides. It's hard to make a case of it made an enormous difference, but it may have eased the pain a little.
It wasn't just hindsight. I think.
No, you said it.
A few of us said that. Well, it wasn't just me either. But the thing is, you know, it's like a football team that's lost its first half dozen games of the season, comes up to Manchester City. Do they say, tell you what, let's take them by surprise. Let's actually attack. See if we can get 30 goals.
Let's not park the bus.
Unsettle them. Or do you just, yeah, exactly, park the bus and just see if you can hold on for a nil draw. Good analogy.
I'm never going to work again on Surrey TV, but it does remind me of my beloved Spurs, who went up to Man City this year, having on the back of 3 defeats in a row, went up there and won 3-2 in the last minute. Thanks for reminding me of that, Lee.
Amazing game.
It was.
Ridiculous game. Harry Kane scored the winner in the 8th minute of extra time.
That's the one. That is the one. I wasn't even aware of the final goal because I'd already thrown my phone away when it went 2-2. Anyway, 1-4-1 for 9. Can Chris Jordan finish it up here? Nicely played. Very nicely played. Yeah, chastening night for Hampshire Hawks, but they will come again in the 4-day stuff, and these two teams will meet again come the business end of the county championship, Chevy. And
do Hampshire have the will and the resources to throw equal commitment to, if that's not quite the right word, but to focus as much on T20 as they are on the championship? I mean, you know, they Keith Barker,
yep.
Mohamed Abbas and Kyle Abbott must be the best 3-man pace attack for years. And it's no wonder they're just 2 points behind Surrey at the top of Division 1.
And that's 4. Nicely played through the offside, carved it over square point. Yeah, it's a good question, and having spoken to people at Hampshire, they are obsessed with winning the championship because they haven't done so, and they've had a lot of money invested in the club. They've had a lot of good players. They've got close a number of times. They were very close last year. They were a little bit of luck away from winning it last year. They were 1 wicket away from winning it last year, and so they've spent a lot of their money on those gun players that you talk of, Mohamed Abbas, Kyle Abbott, and they are throwing everything they can at 4-day cricket this year. The truth of it is, it's very, very tough to run on all formats. You know, the only team that's ever won the double, as in the T20 double, is Essex, and won it in 2019. But they will say themselves that they kind of fluked the T20. You know, they got into the quarters by the skin of their teeth and happened to build some momentum.
Carefree abandon.
Precisely that, and they had Simon Harmer, who is still playing for South Africa, which is a nice story.
After 6 years.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, it's tough. Surrey are doing it very well, and they're doing it very well this evening as well. 147 for 9, make that 151 for 9. Mason Crane, you wouldn't begrudge him a handful there, would you? A 25-30 odd after going round the park earlier.
Brutal, absolutely brutal.
3 overs for 58. Mason Crane earlier in the piece.
It makes my eyes water. What about his? 3 overs for 58. I mean, he didn't bowl bad deliveries, he just bowled deliveries which allowed batsmen to take advantage of the short boundary.
Jordan in again. Steered nicely behind square for another single. And so 2 overs to go.
I suppose that does make them bad deliveries, but what I meant to say was that he wasn't bowling half volleys and long hops and full tosses.
There was probably only one drag down against Will Jacks early on, and he stuck him into the Bedford stand quite effortlessly. That's probably the only rank long hop that he bowled. The problem was that was early in his spell, and so then you're on the back foot.
I think he bowled a lot of entirely acceptable and presentable deliveries. He's just bowled them in slightly the wrong place.
Indeed, and he came up against Sam Curran. His confidence is through the roof at the moment. Reece Topley back in for then the penultimate over. 152 for 9. fancy getting on the score sheet as well. Got things going, of course, with a wicket in his first over. Nick Gubbins skewing one to Curran Pollard, who took an absolute worldie short cover.
Not a bad touch if he gets the first and the last.
That would be nice to bookend what's been a very impressive Surrey innings, Surrey fielding performance here. They'll take some stopping, you feel, in this tournament?
No, definitely one of the powerhouses of this competition. As we've said a few times, like, the strength and depth of the squad is not like many others. And as a squad, there's not many situations that a lot of these players wouldn't have been in. There's a lot of captains out there. There's a lot of vastly international players that have been in domestic competitions, international competitions at the highest level, that if a game goes a particular way, they would have the nous to try and claw it back in Surrey's favour. So yeah, they're definitely, you know, one of the favourites, I'd say.
It's not just the depth of quality in the Surrey squad, it's the depth, it's the number of players they've got that makes such a difference. I mean, you know, there are some counties with no more than 16 or 17 contracted players.
Yeah, and it's showed up in the pace attack as well. So when you're playing 4-day cricket every week in the first part of the season, the first 6, 7 or 8 weeks, and you're able to rotate, that's where it really shows. But they have, as Gareth Batty said to you, they bring them through themselves. You know, this is not just checkbook cricket by any stretch.
No, I mean, yes, they pride themselves on having a couple of international marquee players, but, you know, the contrast to that...
Anything to help put bums on seats.
Is the Surrey Academy, which is, you know, one of the most productive and successful in the country. They have had some big names over the years, haven't they?
They have indeed.
Remember when Virat Kohli signed? Up in the air.
And he's got him, and that's your lot, folks. 1-5-6 all out. Reece Topley began the procession, and now he's finished it. Excellent finish, in at the body, sharp. Typifies how Surrey have come at Hampshire right from ball one here. And in truth, it's been a humbling for the away side. Surrey posted 2-2-8 with the bat, a monster score out there, and they've come in hard throughout the innings against Hampshire, and they've had nothing to offer in response. All out for 1-5-6. 73 runs, the difference in the end. Superb work by the home team, and that is 4 from 4 now for Chris Jordan's men. 3 from 3 rather, and 4 from 4 in the opposite direction for Hampshire. It's tough times for the visitors, but good times for the home side. They look like a well-oiled machine. They have strength in depth, and they're playing with a bit of swagger. Been outstanding all the way through tonight. They were behind the game for no more than 2 deliveries. And as soon as Sam Curran joined Will Jacks earlier in the piece, they put together 100-plus partnership in next to no time and set Surrey away. Sunderland Orion came in and charmed the birds from the trees. 50 from 22 deliveries for their Trinidadian superstar. And then with the ball, they bowled tough and hard cricket right from Reece Topley's opening gambit right to the end, where he finished and bookended what's been an excellent performance by Surrey in the field. 3 from 3. They're going to take some stopping.
And they go back to the top of the South Group in the blast. They've played a game less than Middlesex, but both have 6 points. Middlesex, of course, selects yesterday, but Surrey's net run rate puts them comfortably on top. In fact, you wouldn't bet against them finishing the group with the best net run rate almost whatever happens from here, such has been the nature of tonight's victory. So thoroughly impressive. And we'll go down now to Kate Mason.
Thank you so much, gents. Thank you, Neil. Thank you, Phil. We're going to be going back to you to listen for the highlights, and there's plenty of highlights to take from tonight's performance by Surrey at the Kia Oval. Wow, caught mould for Rhys Topley for that final wicket, meaning that Surrey beat Hampshire by 72 runs. And I don't know, Hampshire fans might not want to look on Twitter at the moment, but there's certainly plenty of questions being asked about that performance. But let's focus on this brilliant performance by this Surrey team. Sam Curran, the absolute star tonight. The first 5-wicket haul in Sam Curran's domestic T20 career, as well as the number of runs he managed to put on the board. This is a guy who was looking supremely confident. Not only was he doing all that in his actual cricketing performance, he also managed to sign some autographs from some of the kids waiting to chat to him on the boundary during the game. You love to see it. So even more reason to come down to the Kia Oval if you get the chance. Let's get back now. We do have the highlights for you, and then we'll catch up with Chevy Green after this.
Hampshire all out for 156 with 7 deliveries left still in the innings, and it all began with Rhys Topley, who removed Nick Gubbins from the second delivery. A stunner of a catch, Neil Manthorpe.
How about that field position? The field placing was brilliant.
Yeah, and he's coming hard throughout tonight, Rhys Topley. There was a murmur of concern for the home crowd when Ben McDermott and Tom Prest got going in the early stages. They put on a very quick 50. Ben McDermott hit the biggest ball of the game straight out the ground.
Knew exactly where it was going to be bowled. He knew it was going to be back of a length, short boundary, set himself for it. How about that for timing? It's just blocked it over extra cover for 4.
Yeah, he's a good young player, is Tom Prest, and he impressed briefly in his short stay, 23 from 13, before Sam Curran rather outthought him. A couple of good shots by McDermott as well over the onside, but there was always that sense that they were fighting against the tide, and it's next to impossible to keep going for that amount of time.
He wasn't the only one that Sam Curran outthought tonight. Tell you what, there are times when bowlers take 3, 4 or 5 wickets, and 3, 4 or 5 of them can be out caught on the boundary. But that's another clever piece of bowling from Sam Curran. He's really worked out the opposition tonight, and there's been absolutely nothing whatsoever fortuitous about his 5 for 30. He got 3 in 1 over, changed the course of the game. You might well say that's another slightly slower ball, which induces the error, gets a batsman playing early, a straightforward catch for Chris Jordan, and Dan Worrell got into the action himself with a straightforward catch at mid-wicket. But often bowlers do take fortunate wickets, not so tonight for Sam Curran.
Yeah, it was the over that really changed the course of this game. Sullivan Orion then came in just to enjoy himself, really, rather like echoing what happened with the bat as well. He came in after the pyrotechnics from Sam Curran and enjoyed himself. Chris Jordan entered the fray as skipper, picked up one from his first delivery. Easy as you like, taken by Jason Roy in the outer. There was a couple of hits towards the back end. A bit of resistance from James Fuller, who made 43 from 34. But he really was the only man to offer any kind of resistance at all. And suitably enough, it was Sam Curran to come in to clean up Ellis, who'd bowled so beautifully, of course, earlier on. That was for his 4th. He'll still be back. Sullivan Orion, 1 or 2 just in the slot, but broadly he was unhittable.
Well, the batsman put them in the slot by using their feet. Otherwise, he was brilliant, Ryan.
Chris Jordan almost pulling off a worldie at long off, but again, overall, they've fielded very well. And this was the moment, really, for Sam Curran. Plumb as you like. Umpire thought about it. Finger goes up and Sam Curran goes down, because that's his first 5 in domestic T20.
Got to enjoy the fact when the umpire didn't look like he was going to give it out, and Curran went down on one knee and begged.
And that was your lot. Rhys Topley again bowling that heavy ball and caught by his best mate, Gus Atkinson. Formidable stuff by Surrey at the fortress of the Kia Oval. 72-run victory against Hampshire, who are down right in the doldrums. Beautifully done by Surrey. Thank you and good night.
Thank you indeed, Neil Manthorpe and Phil Walker. So good to hear your thoughts on tonight's game. And what an exciting game it was. We've got our third man here to just take us out tonight, Chevy Green. Chevy, I mean, don't want to dwell too much on the fact that you've just commentated for 40 overs as your first serious commentary performance. Chevy's normally, he's the director of the ACE programme, so working with Ebony Rainford Brent, doing a lot of the charitable giving that the Kia Oval that Surrey cricket work on. How'd you get on?
Yeah, first full game. What a game to have. It was a great performance from Surrey. It definitely helped with a flying start there with the bat and an impressive performance there with the ball as well. And yeah, I could get used to this, following into the boss Ebony's footsteps with this commentary stuff. It was a lot longer than I thought doing the whole 40 overs, but yeah, good fun.
But as you say, so much to talk about. Let's have a little chat, shall we, about Sam Curran. I mean, the man looked incredibly confident, doing absolutely every element of the game of cricket, right?
Yeah, what a player, and he proved his prowess with the bat. He's been a lot of batting since his recovery from injury of the bowling, and he hit some clean shots there today, and a very impressive performance with the bat. And then to come back with the ball as well in the second innings and having 5 wickets. I think it's his first 5-wicket haul in T20 cricket. So yeah, what an impressive man of the match performance.
Yeah, because we weren't even sure if he was going to be bowling that much, right, because of his injury. We're just having a little look at some of the wickets he took, and it's exciting to really see. This is three in a single over.
Yeah, and
so it's not a man who looks like he's undercooked, right?
No, and that's an over that really changed the game. You know, Hampshire got off to a flying start, and he came on, and to take those 3 wickets in the over it really shifted it. The momentum changed, and that's the kind of player he is. You know, dynamic young player, and he changed the game with the bat and he changed the game with the ball.
Confident guy. And speaking of confidence, Surrey are looking really like the team to beat right now, right?
Yeah, definitely one of the favourites, 3-3, and they go into a big game against Kent, and hopefully to make it 4 out of 4. But you have to say one of the standout teams so far at the start of this Vitality Blast, and you know, who knows what could happen in the future.
Yeah, and talking of which, tonight they go with that 3 from 3, which Jason Roy predicted at the start of the day. They go top of the South Group table, so it's plenty to work on, as you say. The next game's coming up then. Thank you, Chevy. Thanks for your work in the commentary.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely brilliant. Kent is tomorrow night, that's away. Glamorgan then Sunday afternoon, and then we'll be back here against Sussex. That's on Wednesday night at 6:30. So do make sure you join us again right here, the exact same place that you found us today. We'll be here with the warm-up from 5:45, and then on air with the first ball at 6:30. You can also follow us at Surrey Cricket on Twitter. Do join us next time. Keep following these boys, and we'll see you soon.